The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
What?
let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Sport!
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this GM Tuesday, April 30th, 2024. This sports program starts now.
Sports!
Our wonderful sports are amazing. Obviously, the NBA and the NHL are in the middle of their playoff run, and we had another sweep.
Whoa.
We had another sweep. Pelicans are at.
Yeah.
And if you do recall, the story of the Pelicans this year, playoff run, is that Zion Williamson did everything that we thought Zion was capable of doing in a play-in game, had 40-some points, took it over, and then with about a minute 40 left in that game, pulls a hamstring.
Yep.
He's out.
Oh, man.
Lakers would go on to win. Then the Pelicans would backdoor their way in. Then now they're getting swept by OKC. But the real story is the fact that everything we thought Zion could be, he was. And then whenever it was the biggest time of the biggest game he played in, his body just said, nah, not yet. So now we have an entire offseason chit-chatting about whether or not Zion's going to be able to survive an entire season, whether or not he's going to be able to be a capable superstar to represent a franchise and a program like the New Orleans Pelicans. And will we ever get to see Zion live up to the hype? I would like to say, after watching him take over that game, yes, we will. Mentally, he's been in it all year. He was in his best shape. He was doing things that were magical in the paint. He's unguardable. We just need his body to keep up with everything else going on. Heard he hired a chef. He got some OnlyFans people away from him.
Yep.
There's a lot of stuff going on. But instead, the Pelicans had to play without him. And the youngest team in the playoffs in the NBA's history sweeps the Pelicans. And I'll tell you what's going on out there in Oklahoma City is beautiful.
It is.
It is absolutely beautiful. I don't know if it's going to be enough to win the whole damn thing, but that dude, SGA, is a freak show for years to come, and the future of the NBA is in great hands. We'll be chit-chatting with Charania in about 8 minutes or so. There was a gentleman's sweep as well in the NHL as the Florida Panthers bamboozled the Tampa Bay Lightning with a couple goals being called back from some fugazi goalie interference. And now the Florida Panthers make it past the first round. Congratulations to the Florida Panthers. 9-year NFL vet, South Florida native, a man rocking a Panthers hat right now. Darius J. Butler is here today.
Thank you for this gift.
Hey, congratulations to you guys. Kind of, there's going to be a clause, obviously, because the two goals that were clearly goals that were called back because the goalie interference rule is one that is supposed to be abided by the book. Man, it used to be you're not allowed in the crease, but now you're not allowed to touch him accidentally. It didn't. It's bullshit. That's a goal.
Rules are the rules. All right. Rules are I don't know them. But hey, these guys got to follow them. They do.
This guy. Yeah, it seems like nobody knows.
Coach crying after the game. Put some, what do you say?
He
Dresses on.
Put some skirts on.
Whoa, you can't say that.
Well, I don't know what he meant by that.
Careful.
I don't know what he meant by that.
Today.
I don't know what he meant by that. Because I don't know how many sports have skirts. Is he saying, is this a dress-up affair? Are we out of the gown at a gala? Is that why we're putting on the skirts? Why do you say that? We don't know. A lot of people on the internet are assuming why he said it.
Right.
And boy, in Canada, they are attacking him. Canada's been mad at the internet lately.
Mad at everything.
I saw 2 fake bears piss off an entire country.
Boy,
I think they're fake. I don't know if they're. I think they're.
It looked fake.
I think they might have been cartoons.
AI? Yeah.
A lot of
Maybe.
People, a lot of people who
Look
are mad were assuming that they're doing something. But
anyways, hockey is upside down, but the ratings are through the roof. We'll be talking to the legend. That's John Buccigross in about 36 minutes or so. He's calling, I think, for a Leafs win tonight. And Austin Matthews having 2 goals. We shall see as the Bruins take on the Toronto Maple Leafs in what could be the end of that particular series, where Biz Nasty would owe us 10 public push-ups. We'll also have a couple GMs in the second hour. Now, you know how we do Feel the Beat, where we get a beat writer so we can dive in a little bit deeper. We're going to do that with general managers of the NFL today.
Let's go.
Okay, so we're gonna go to a GM, let's say here in Indianapolis.
Okay.
And then we're gonna go to a GM, let's say in Buffalo. And then there's a request in that should be, I think, from the sounds of it, made good, where we'll go to a GM in like San Francisco.
Okay.
Okay.
East Coast, West
So
Coast.
that we'll talk to them back to back to back about the state of their team, what happened in the draft, their mindset going forward, and what the next couple months look like for them in the. So I think it's going to be Indianapolis, Buffalo, and San Francisco's general managers are going to join us in a second.
That's awesome. Love it.
And then in the third hour, Reese Davis is going to join us to recap how Nick Sabin was on College Game Day at the draft, because I didn't really get to see anything other than clips. I saw at one point Nick Sabin did this.
He did some great memes.
So I did some of this. There was a couple give and takes, little laughs. Jalen Milroe was giving him a shout out. I mean, I'm excited to hear from Reese how the draft went for him, and can't wait to talk to these GMs. I do believe for the rest of the week too, GMs that are going to be joining this particular program. Of the Cleveland Browns, Andrew Berry will be on. Of the Philadelphia Eagles, Howie Roseman will be on. Of the Chicago Bears, who we thought that relationship was dead because we lost our... Ryan Poles will be on the program. From the Houston Texans, Casario will be on.
Okay.
And we do believe from the Atlanta Falcons, a general manager who a lot of people have questions, not just us for.
Yeah.
No.
So we will obviously make sure we do our job in the proper journalizing of the journalism of the Atlanta Falcons GM, Terry Fontenot.
Okay.
So it's big GM week. I think this is when we can get them before they
Dive
kind
in.
of check out or dive
See ya.
into whatever they have going on next. Might be the last week in the office for these guys after the draft, as OTAs are taking place, maybe doing deals with other people, figuring it out, and then all of a sudden we're all eyes on fall. The Talks Table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys, Tone Diggs is here. Boys, GM stopping by is always good. We going to get any answers out of these guys, Connor?
I hope so. It feels like this time of the year, it's like, hey, if there was stuff you were thinking about, and obviously the draft just happened, we kind of experienced it with Schefter, like, you can tell us. There's nothing going to happen that you might have were thinking about doing that, can't be done now. So just tell us, like, for instance, Brandon Beane. Were you really thinking about, maybe trading for one of those premier guys like Ayuk or Debo for Josh Allen? Because they were mixed in that conversation, and he should be able to say, yeah, you know what, we were. Maybe we had a couple offers on the table, but we decided to go with Keon Coleman. Like that type of information, that just the hypotheticals that we've been dealing with for the past month. Hopefully they can just tell us, hey, that was real, that was bullshit, that almost happened, that never happened.
And also, when Veach calls you,
Sure.
do you say to yourself, yeah, I just want to make Kansas City Chiefs better. To hell with the Bills. That's why I'll trade number 28 pick to Kansas City if you're Brandon Beane. We got a lot of questions.
Oh, yeah. Plenty of them.
Sounds like, though, if you read the temperatures of all the fans, literally 31 fan bases happy with the draft. I think because of how deep it was.
Yeah.
So all these GMs coming on can take a victory lap. Now, Fontenot can do an explanation lap and then a victory lap on top of that if he wants to. But it feels like the draft was a home run for seemingly every single team. There's enough players throughout where everybody can be like, yeah, we got better this year. And also, I don't think the expectations were as high for some of these players, but a lot of notable players were still getting drafted in 4th, 5th, and 6th round. So when you talk about fan reaction, it's almost like a perfect recipe to get a thumbs up grade from your fans if you're a GM. This is the right time to come on shows if you're a GM after a draft.
Yeah, exactly. These guys can either take the victory laps, and then we mentioned a couple days ago, like there are still some pretty solid free agents out there. So maybe, who were they looking at in the drafts that they didn't have a chance to either, someone else got a guy they were looking at. And if there are a couple other little holes that maybe they'll be able to fill with some of these kind of, premier free agents that are left over, it should be interesting. But like you said, we got a bunch of guys who are probably very happy with their draft. And then we also got the one guy who maybe, hey, he has the opportunity to lay out the master plan, put to bed all this guy doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
A lot of that.
Yeah, exactly. This franchise is a dumpster fire.
A lot of that.
All that kind of stuff can be put to rest, later this week. So looking forward to that as well.
I can't wait. And maybe the GM in Indianapolis could tell us when he started growing his hair out.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I'm excited to learn that.
Yeah.
We'll have him at 110 today. It's getting long.
Yeah.
Very long.
Need to know the product.
Looks good.
And then he's getting...
Yeah.
I want to know what's going on. Looks like he's just eating iron and dumbbells.
Yeah.
And then just studying. Look at this guy. Is that a video there? Look, he starts laughing maniacally.
We had the best Russian
Leatu Latu, obviously.
Looks like an evil villain.
Yeah, he does. And the laugh is perfect. And I don't know who He was talking to her, or is he just talking to himself there?
Just out loud.
Himself, yeah.
I think he's just talking to himself there. He'll be talking to us in, about an hour or so. We'll have Charania joining us in a matter of moments. But before we get to him, did you see what Patrick Mahomes did last night?
Yeah. Son of a bitch.
Did you see what happened?
Scumbag.
What the hell?
What is he doing? Jey Uso, obviously, the yeet man himself.
Yeah.
Because to the house, yeet, goddamn. To the house, yeet, God, you get it.
Right.
He's yeeting all over everywhere.
Always.
Multiple times.
Everybody's yeeting with him. I mean, we're in Kansas City last night, whole place yeeting.
Place was soaked.
The week before that, we were in bingo. Can't even do it.
Oh, the week before it, that was the week of Columbus, Ohio.
Okay.
There it is. Yeah.
All right. These things all,
Kind of roll together.
because I fly in, car, arena, car, plane, gone. Every city looks the exact same. Looks like a plane in the inside of a car, and then the inside of an arena,
Sure.
and then I'm out of there. All the fans that have shown up, though, over like the last 3 months that I've been, awesome.
Delivered.
Every environment is electrifying. And what they all love to do is yeet. Okay? They all love yeet, yeet,
Guys, you eat a few times
yeet,
last night.
yeet. A lot of yeeting last night. Yeet.
A lot of-
Quick recovery
yeet,
for you guys.
Yeet. Thank you. I feel like I am getting the cardio together for TSD. And Jey Uso is beloved.
Yeah.
Not only because of the yeet, but his story. In last night, Logan Paul, with an assist from the Judgment Day, came out and started attacking. That's Jey Uso getting attacked by Finn Balor and just dumb McDonough right there. The man with the head on the left. That's JD McDonough. Logan Paul, founder of Prime, comes over to Prime Athlete. Patrick Mahomes is in front row, and he usually uses brass knucks. Didn't have his. So instead, he gets his 3 Super Bowl rings. What did you call it, Nick? What did he put on his right hand?
A dynasty.
He literally put a dynasty on Logan Paul's right hand, right in front of an entire crowd that wants to yeet all over the place. And he goes to punch him in the face like, Patrick Mahomes, why'd you help him? Well, Pat knew what Jey Uso was going to do. Duck! JD McDonough eats 3 Super Bowl rings. Okay? Goes absolutely bananas. Now Finn Balor, with the yeet glasses on that he stole from Jey Uso, and Logan Paul realized what they've done. Oh, no. Oh, no, that wasn't how it was supposed to go. Well, Patrick Mahomes and Jey Uso knew exactly how that was going to go. That was awesome, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. JD McDonough with 3 Super Bowl rings to a forehead. And then all of a sudden, Jey Uso, Finn Balor finish their fight. Logan Paul gets the hell out of the way. And then they all escape, okay? And Patrick Mahomes, you ask him, what are you doing?
Thought you were a good guy.
Why'd you do that?
Yeah.
Facts.
I like to think that Patrick Mahomes is always playing chess. He knew that with the amount of time Logan took away and how stupid J.D. McDonough is. And Finn Balor speaking Irish accents. You can't really understand what he's saying. He knew he'd be able to move when those things came in. And he did. So thank you, Patrick Mahomes, for helping out Jey Uso.
No way. No way. I will not clap for that, okay?
That's what he was
that's
doing.
Absolute bullshit. You saw what he did to Braun Strowman right after Braun Strowman comes out, saves the yeet man himself.
Yeah.
And then what's Pat doing? Instead of saying, oh, hey, man, like that was for you guys, he stands up and he grills Braun
Well, you're not
Strowman,
going
the
to
monster.
punk Patrick Mahomes at Kansas City.
Well, I agree.
You're not going to punk.
No.
I completely
Braun
agree, and I
would've.
wasn't calling for that. But you're also not gonna tie your anchor to Logan Paul, the villain that he is, the Batman who's partnering with the Judgment Day. We're acting as if he's helping out these guys. See, look at this. He stares Braun Strowman in the face like, I don't care that you're a good guy. I'll smack you around too. See that right there? I'm not going anywhere. A lot of people said he said, I'm here. But I didn't hear him say that. I heard him say,
No, he's just standing up in his city. This is his city.
Yeah, I
Hey,
agree.
Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey obviously go, excuse me. Okay, Braun, welcome back, monster among monsters.
and then Yeet's got to pull him back because he knows, hey, look, you don't want to mess with this guy in his city. He almost just tried to hit me in the face with rings.
Well, Jay knows. Jay just said, hey, thank you for doing that. You delayed the whole thing. You set me up. It was all right in the end.
I
No,
wish
he
Braun
didn't.
would have put those assholes through a table.
Well, I believe Braun
Creed and
Strowman.
Trey?
I was
Yeah.
there.
And
No,
Patrick.
Amen.
Whoa.
Trey comforted Joe Borgonzi.
Yeah.
Okay, after the shooting in Kansas City.
Okay.
Yeah,
What
Trey
have-
Smith, hero.
Listen,
What have
we're
you
gonna-
done for me
If we're
lately?
going to turn a work into a shoot brother, we can. Okay.
Well, I'm just saying.
Thank you.
Last night's not the night to call Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey anything. Okay, they're actually.
What have you done?
They're actually the heroes of the night last
I
night.
agree.
Alongside Trey Filter and Paul Contreras, the two guys that tackled the gunman that was leaving the parade. Got a chance to meet them last night.
Awesome.
It was a beautiful night in Kansas City last night, and I know Patrick Mahomes is working with the good side.
I don't.
I know
don't
he
like
was.
it. I
I
don't like
know
the
he
angle.
was.
Nope.
Even though everybody on the internet is saying, whoa, he's just fully embraced being a heel, huh?
Yeah.
Go ahead and pump some Super Bowl rings to Logan Paul's face so he can put him through the Yeet man's mouth. I don't think that's what Pat was doing.
I hope not.
Nah,
I hope it is.
Patrick Mahomes is a future GOAT.
Well.
He wouldn't want to help out somebody hurting to eat, man. We know that.
Especially J.D. McDonough.
Have a lot more questions than answers. J.D. McDonough's face got, hey.
Looks better, right?
Those Super Bowl rings, I think, were pretty good weapons.
Yeah, it looked like it.
I
mean, what was that? That was Dan Marino, right? When, or not Dan Marino, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, when he's trying to find the Super Bowl ring and he gets punched in the face and he counts the amount of thing.
Yep.
That's what happened to J.D. McDonough's forehead last night.
Yeah.
Eye and forehead. 3 Super Bowl rings through. Then he gets kicked in the mouth later in the night. It was a wild night in Kansas City. We can't thank everybody enough, but Patrick Mahomes is doing the right thing.
I don't think so. I disagree. I respectfully disagree.
I was asking him in real time, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But then after I looked back and read the situation with clear eyes, full hearts in the morning, I think he did it on purpose to help out Jay.
Like there was too much wind. It was too cold.
Well, he was sick. He was sick, too.
Yeah.
I mean, it was sick. I mean, right there, he's like, yeah, take your time. Look at these. Go ahead.
Ridiculous.
Oh, you see Super Bowl rings? Yeah, I got 3 of them. I'm only 28. Yeah, what do you want me to do? Yeah. Go ahead and have them. Maybe he just thought it was a gift, too.
Yeah.
You know, like a Prime. Thank you for having me be a part of Prime. I saw the Mahomes Prime bottle or at the Prime hydration station on the other side was right next to us.
I mean, he dapped up the Archer Infamy, too, walking in. I just didn't like the vibe last night. If he's going to be a heel, be a heel. Don't flip and flop.
What are you talking about? Logan Paul brought him in a Rolls. He came in a Rolls Royce. I Show Speed popped out of the trunk.
He did.
No, I saw.
Trump? That's not safe.
Is he part? Is he?
I saw the trunk open and then I saw I Show Speed turn the corner, and my mic was not on at the time, but. Did he just come out of the trunk?
Yeah.
I'm glad he's okay.
Is he a WWE superstar now?
Yeah, you're right. Randy Orton.
Took RKO.
Yeah, almost broke his neck.
I hope that's the case. That's electrifying. A lot of energy. He was screaming into a microphone last night.
Yeah, great announcement of the picks.
Great. One of the best.
Yeah,
one of the
seriously.
best. Ian Logan. Joining us now is a man who's going to break some real news. Okay? That's what he does every time he comes on. We can't thank him enough. Senior NBA insider for the Stadium and the Athletic and FanDuel TV. Ladies and gentlemen, Sham Charania. Sham, sorry we had to break down Patrick Mahomes helping out Jey Uso last night, even though the narrative is that he was doing the complete opposite. Anyway, Shams, big time in basketball. You look so cool right now.
Wow.
So cool.
Hey, I just watched the draft special you guys had last week. Big time stuff. I was tuned in. Not because of you, because of Coach Belichick. I was definitely coaching.
Yeah, well, it's called the Spectacular, asshole. Yeah, it's not draft special. It's draft spectacular.
Shams.
Okay, Shams, I know you're busy. There a lot's going on. And the NBA playoffs are taking place, even though the NFL draft said...
Yeah, see ya. Yeah.
See ya. We're just like Christmas.
Yeah.
We are
just for a couple days. Just for a couple days, though. Just for a couple days. And now we're back to regularly scheduled programming.
12.1 million average viewers on that first night of the NBA or the NFL draft. Shams. 12.1.
Is that as much as Caitlin Clark's games?
Okay, so now I agree.
Shout out
WNBA.
I'm just saying basketball. We're covering basketball too now. All ages.
Hey, shout out the WNBA.
Shout out the WNBA.
Hey, shout out the WNBA. Sham Charania is like, oh yeah, you guys beating Caitlin Clark? I don't think so. I love that, Shams. I appreciate that. Let's go Fever. We're about to be in the middle of a dynastic run here in Indiana. Film's coming out of her training camp.
I know.
She's winning the half-court shooting contest.
Yeah, might as well still be at Carver.
She's hitting step backs. She's hitting Boston with these no-look passes.
Yeah.
I think she's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's get to the NBA. Are the Lakers and LeBron James going to be okay? Hey, we are now at that time. The Nuggets have eliminated the Lakers. So what comes immediately after that? Well, what's going to happen with LeBron? This has been multiple years in a row. And there was a post last night, I believe by SportsCenter or ESPN on Instagram, that basically the Nuggets have ruined every single thing that is supposed to happen in a celebratory way for the Los Angeles Lakers over like the last 5 years, maybe 6 years. The Nuggets are the nemesis of this Lakers and LeBron team. Now, Greeny's taking a victory lap saying that they should have tried to lose to the Pelicans so then they could play OKC, whatever. Darvin Ham's fired. LeBron James is leaving to go play somewhere else, or he's staying, and the Lakers are going to trade up to draft Bronny, who's going into the draft. What is real, what is not right now with the Lakers, LeBron, Darvin Ham, in an offseason that is going to be like every other one with question marks all over the place, Shams?
Yeah, so let's look at the series first. And the Lakers really feel like there were 2 very, very winnable games, especially game 2. They were up 20 points in that game. They don't execute down the stretch, don't win that game. And that was really a heartbreaker for them internally, throughout the entire organization. You win that game, you're 1-1, you go back home. It's a totally different tenor of the series. And just overall in the regular season, the play that happened they felt like they should have been a higher seed this year because, listen, you're playing in the play-in tournament race. You're putting yourself in a position where you're scratching and clawing just to make the playoffs, and then you're not able to dictate your future. And there was a point in December, January, where a couple rotation players, high-level starters, Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell, were benched for extended periods of times. And from what I'm told, that was perplexing to people inside that organization, obviously outside around the league, that organization. And the buck stops with Darvin Ham as the head coach as far as making those decisions. And so starting with Darvin Ham, if you will, LeBron James, of course, this has bigger implications throughout the sport. But Darvin Ham, I'm told his job is in serious peril. The expectation is that it is highly unlikely, from what I'm told, that he's going to be back for a third season as Lakers head coach. So you think about rotations that happen over the course of the season, the disconnect that really was there in the locker room in terms of adjustments, game plans. And you saw really in the second half of the season, the players took the onus of putting it on themselves and trying to right this ship. And they did. Listen, they won games. They got into the playoffs. They didn't have to play, in the 8th seed. So you're able to dictate your future in that way. But they wanted to be in a position where you're fighting for home court advantage. And post in-season tournament, they win the in-season tournament, right? They go 10 losses in 13 games. And that stretch really derailed their season in terms of them having ownership on their future. So that is the case with Darvin Ham. As far as LeBron James, that's a much bigger thing.
Hold on, let's talk about Darvin Ham. Hold on, let's finish on Darvin Ham here before we move to LeBron, because I think he did an interview with McMenamin. Dave
McMenamin.
McMenamin, there it is. And some of these quotes coming out, it's almost like it's a fake quote, but it's real quotes, I think, coming out from Darvin Ham. If you're coaching a team and one of your stars is like 10 games in a row just shitting the bed, what are you going to do? I love that coming from a head coach who has been obviously missiled and torpedoed from outside. Common sense tends to go out the window when you talk about my job in particular. Now, I thought these were fake quotes whenever I read them, because this is not normally how anybody would speak, especially around this time. But that's Bleacher Report. And McMenamin's real deal, right? McMenamin's real deal in his reporting. It's like, is Darvin Ham finally speaking up for himself? Is this how it's been? And is this because he knows the writing's on the wall? And how's D'Lo going to potentially take the photo that was used for that particular quote there, Shams?
Hey, D'Angelo Russell said the other day he doesn't need any motivation, I guess. He's self-motivated. So maybe he's not going to do anything with it. But this is really, I saw those. It's really a stretch, and it's in line with all the comments that have really been made over the course of the season publicly by Darvin Ham. And that's another thing people internally will look at and point to is the lack of somewhat accountability as far as whether it is a rotation gap, if there is an issue in terms of the game plan, the adjustment. The lack of ownership, accountability, it's not something, it's not something that I'm saying. This is something that I'm hearing internally has come up as an issue, and something that, people do have to raise their eyebrows at. So, listen, I think there were stretches of time where D'Angelo Russell struggled over the course of the year. He picked it up in the second half of the season, and Darvin Ham stuck with him throughout the playoff run, didn't bench him when he went through his woes in the playoffs. And you do have to give Darvin Ham this credit. He did lead this team to the Western Conference Finals a year ago. Players did have genuine respect for him as a coach, but or as a person. But as in my story last night, one player we had tell us, we also need to be coached as well. And that ultimately was something that Lakers executives, that's something that they're going to have to take into great account.
Hey, it was a good run. Well, they won in season.
They
won the in-season tourney, which I saw them celebrate. Okay, now let's get to the inaugural in-season tournament MVP, LeBron James, and his future with the Lakers. From all accounts, it seems like there's different answers flying from different sources. Maybe he wants to leave. Maybe he's not going to take an option extension. Maybe they're going to draft Bronny. Maybe he wants to say he'll take less money. What is the real? What is the not at this exact point from your standpoint, Shams?
Yeah, I'm told LeBron James expects to play up to 2 NBA seasons, and that would take him to year 23 in the NBA, 23 seasons in the NBA. He just finished his 21st season. He has a $51.4 million player option for next season, and that does give him a great amount of flexibility, a good amount of leverage. He can opt into that deal, have an extension. He could opt out. reach a new extension. And
no,
what's interesting
he lost
here,
control of the ball.
It's a jump ball, but
yeah,
is 2 seasons if LeBron James does decide 2 years, that's it. It's not going to be a third season. By the way, guys, from what I'm told and what we reported yesterday on this piece with The Athletic, the Lakers, Genie Bus, they'll go as far as offering him a 3-year, $164 million maximum contract if that's what it takes to keep LeBron James. If he wants to come back on a 1-year max, a 2-year max, a 3-year max, the Lakers are all in. And so the question is going to be with LeBron James, his agent Rich Paul of Clutch Sports, they're going to have to meet over the next few weeks and figure out just how long he wants to play in the NBA exactly. But he's going to have to really look at how the Lakers manage the offseason, what additions they make to the roster. One name to keep an eye on, Trae Young, potentially as a candidate. So between now, his option date is June 29th. And guys, this is interesting because June 29th is after the NBA draft and right before free agency. LeBron James will have all the answers he needs to have by that point. What happens with his son, Bronny James, if he does elect to stay in the draft? Another thing I reported, and we reported, the Lakers very much have interest in drafting Bronny James. They know LeBron James has spoken on the record about wanting to play with Bronny. And at the end of the day, he wants the best for Bronny. If that means Bronny James getting drafted by another team, making more guaranteed money, he's obviously going to be an advocate of that. But the Lakers have made it known to him and the world that they are very much in the game as far as trying to pick him. And they're going to have potentially a first-round pick and a second-round pick to bring him in. And in a perfect world, guys, having LeBron James and Bronny James on this team next season and moving forward, that is going to be at least one of the goals for the Lakers.
Okay, I think we've been talking about Trae Young potentially going to L.A. for like 2 years, right? I think
we were just there in All-Star Weekend. We talked about it when I was in the Thunderdome.
Okay, so that's kind of been alluded to. So Trae Young, Bronny, LeBron, AD.
Whoa.
Is Austin back next year? The White Hope?
Well, Austin Reeves, they love him. They want him to be.
Oh, that's a no.
Yeah.
Sounds like
the only trade where you move a guy like Austin Reeves is if you're getting a surefire all-star, all-NBA type player. Okay. Is Trae Young that guy? The Lakers front office, executives internally, they're going to have to meet and discuss and figure out, is Trae Young the type of player? But again, it's not going to be just exclusive to him. There's going to be other players that this organization, that they can come up with as far as a list of targets. But watching the playoffs, watching the second half of the season, could they need a top-flight point guard at that position? There were some inconsistencies with D'Angelo Russell. He did have a monster second half of the season. I have to give him credit.
Hell yeah.
He shot the ball lights out. He had a couple good games here in the playoffs against the Nuggets.
Couple.
But do you have an answer of something that could be an upgrade? And that's something Rob Pelinka and that front office is going to get to work on. But Trae Young is the type of player where if the Hawks, let's say in those conversations, they did have conversations around DeJounte Murray this season. So there already have been levels of conversation between those two front offices and organizations. And in those conversations, the Hawks did look at and ask for Austin Reeves. At that point, the Lakers were unwilling to give up Austin Reeves. But does Trae Young change their mind? We'll find out in the next couple months.
Okay, can't wait to watch it all unfold. Sound like the Jameses are going to be the Lakers.
Yeah.
That's what I just heard. I think that's going to be the case.
Well, listen, multiple teams are going to monitor.
All right, Sean. Yeah, Sean.
I think the Lakers have made it clear that they very much want to intend to stay in the LeBron James business by any means.
Got it. And that would be cool.
Yeah, it would be cool.
Super
Super
cool.
cool.
The game, traveling around. Hey, this is how you do dinner. This is how you do this. This is how you do this. Not that he hasn't already, but actually watching him.
Also, Pat, let's talk about this. The level that he's playing at right now. 21 season. Last night, 30 points. What do you have? 11 assists, 11 rebounds, whatever it was, 9 assists, not whatever. Like a 30, 11, and 9 game. This is year 21. He's 39 years old. I mean, the level he's playing at, I don't think anyone could have foreseen this late in his NBA career. So the Lakers know, and we were told, LeBron James isn't the problem. Anthony Davis isn't the problem. How do we continue to build around them and try to compete for another championship?
Sounds like all eyes are on our coach.
Yeah.
And Darvin Ham's gone. Hey, Darvin, you can get another gig. Maybe with the Phoenix Suns, and then that'll last a year.
Yeah, there you go.
And then you'd be gone just like old Frank, who had a hell of a run here in Indiana for a while. Trae Young's name got mentioned yesterday. Funny you bring that up. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, Sean, it's awesome to know you're very tied in with the Lakers because it's a dumpster fire and you're making it seem like it's not that bad. But with Wemby in San Antonio, we talked to Brian Windhorst yesterday, and he kind of threw out the idea that the Spurs might be one of the premier places that some free agents or even some guys like a Trae Young might want to go play with Wemby, play for Pop, and obviously because the alien that he is probably would help out a lot of guys, especially a Trae Young type guard. Is that a very real situation that San Antonio is going to be one of the premier spots this offseason for guys to go to, or what are you hearing around, the Spurs and interest in Wembanyama and Popovich?
Well, there's a ton of interest in a lot of players in every part of the league in terms of playing potentially with Victor Wembanyama. He is a one-of-one player. He already showed in year one. This guy's going to win Rookie of the Year, and he was a finalist for Defensive Player of the Year all in his first season. Next season, All-Star, All-NBA. Those are all things I'm sure that are going to be very, very attainable for Victor Wembanyama. And with the Spurs now, they're going to be in play. They're going to be rumored. They're going to be talked about with legitimately every top-flight point guard that we're going to see potentially on the marketplace. They called last year during this season, expressed interest in DeJounte Murray. So we already know there's at least some level of interest in seeing what type of all-star caliber point guard can they bring in there. And so if we don't know yet, will the Hawks be open? Are they open for business on Trae Young? Does Trae Young, what is his future there? But if a guy like that is available, they're going to express a level of interest. They're going to express a level of interest in any really top-flight guard in the league. And Victor Wembanyama, what he showed this year, he made it clear his timeline to winning starts now, and he is very capable. He's very ready to make that happen.
I love that. He's alien. And I like that he's embraced that, too. He knows it. That Nike logo.
Sick.
That's the next $1 billion one. That's the next $1 billion one. If you know.
He's special. He's special. Like his mindset, his focus, his determination. I mean, obviously we've seen some of these quotes. He doesn't like go on his phone or doesn't do anything after like 9 p.m., 10 p.m. He's locked in the gym, doesn't party, doesn't drink. This level of focus. If he keeps this,
he does stuff.
Let's keep that way.
He does stuff though. He does stuff. He went to the Drake concert and he wanted all. Drake wanted him to walk out with Drake the way he does.
Drake and
oh yeah, of course.
Kendrick Lamar in the middle of
Yep.
about 20 minutes.
I have to go listen. I have to go listen to that right now.
You talk about Euphoria. It was about 20 minutes before we went live. I'll tell you what, Kendrick.
It's 6 minutes long. I'm about
slow.
to listen to that.
It does. It changes pretty quick.
Changes beats a couple times. I mean, it is a.
What's your problem?
I wonder how long this one's going to last.
Might have
Drake
legs.
and Kendrick.
Years.
Yeah.
And then Rick Ross allegedly. Lil Wayne came out and told Rick Ross, hey, come on.
It's a two-man fight, though, at this point. It's a two-man. We want to see them go back and forth. And I think Drake was baiting him, too. Drake's been baiting him.
Oh, yeah. Well, he said there was a full-on. If we're just going to get bangers out of this, though, sucks to be part of it. Hope you guys shake hands someday and get back together. But as a listener, we got bangers coming out right now.
For sure.
Okay, I don't know how long it's going to last, but we got bangers happening right now. Speaking of bangers, this guy used to do this. Now he just gets swept out of the playoffs. D-But's got a question for you.
Actually, I think he dropped a banger not too long ago, too. And you dropped an article about KD, kind of right. I want to say about 13 seconds after that series was over. A Shams report came out about how he wasn't very happy with his offensive role and things like that. Kind of similar to Darvin Ham, we expect Vogel to probably be the fall guy out there in Phoenix. But what can we expect with KD going forward with the Suns or without the Suns?
Yeah, so let's look bigger picture with the Suns. They have Devin Booker on this team, All-NBA, All-Star. He's going to be on Team USA, potential future Hall of Famer. You have Kevin Durant. He will be a Hall of Famer, All-NBAer. Yeah, he's going to be on Team USA too. So those two guys are among the top players in this league. And then you have a guy, Brad Beal, 3-time All-Star. They need to find a way to get him to excel more in a proper system, right? Proper offensively for all three of those guys. Any team in the league right now would want those two top guys, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant. Any team would want the problems that the Phoenix Suns have, which is you have these talented players that.
Come on.
Devin Booker. Well, to be fair, they do on draft night. The Suns can trade 2 first-round draft picks. This year's pick, number 22, or the 2031 first-round pick that they have. So they do have 2 first-round picks potentially to trade. So I will say that. I know there's been some confusion that they don't have any picks. They do have those two first-round picks. I mean, listen, they do have an ownership.
That's a big draft.
Seventh grader. Right now?
They have an ownership that's obviously willing to spend. They've spent $260 million on this roster. So my sense is that they want to see how this team can run it back, how these three guys can coexist. How can they find someone, whether it's adding to the coaching staff, whether it's a new coach, that can fully optimize those three guys and connect with those three guys? I mean, Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, they wanted to play with each other. That's part of the reason Kevin Durant gets out of Brooklyn, goes to Phoenix. And some of this onus, we talk about Frank Vogel, and my sense very much is that the Suns are evaluating his coaching position. They're considering a potential change or other major changes on his staff. But the onus does fall on the players, too, and it does fall on the leadership that starts with Kevin Durant, that starts with Devin Booker. And part of that is some of the offense. And the offense that was run this season, that Kevin Durant, I'm told, spent a lot of the second half of the season especially unhappy with the way the offense was run and his place in the offense, feeling as if he's been relegated to the corners a lot, watching pick and rolls with Devin Booker, watching pick and rolls with Bradley Beal. So they're going to need to find a different type of offensive system, no matter if Frank Vogel is back or not. And at the end of the day, the players have to take some level of accountability, because this season was not supposed to end in a sweep. Not when you have Devin Booker and Kevin Durant on your roster.
I don't want to continue to talk about negative stuff, but Ty has a question for you, Shams.
Yeah, Shams. Saw today that Joel Embiid missed
Ty or Mel?
Shoot around. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Well, you know, Shams,
Mad Mel.
Mad Mel has much longer hair.
He does.
Oh, okay. My bad.
And he wears a
Sorry,
suit.
don't worry about it. He does wear a
And
suit.
glasses.
And glasses. But anyway, Sean.
What the hell's wrong with this guy?
Yeah, Shams or Sean or Shams. Which one is it? But no, Shams.
I'll take Sean.
Sean, okay. Just curious, Joel Embiid reporting he missed shoot-around today. I don't know if that's just like a miscommunication or what's going on there. Friend of the program, Michael Lombardi, who's also a massive 76ers fan, he's going through it right now, basically saying, like, this is the Sixers. This kind of shit always happens. They get in the playoffs, and then they just choke and implode. Is he not going to – I mean, like, what's going on with the Sixers? Are they just completely done? And Embiid, I mean, are things getting – a little iffy over there? Like, is there a chance he's maybe out of town? I mean, all these guys in the NBA, all these good players, you know, as soon as one thing goes bad, it's, hey, get me out of here. Let me go play with another superstar. What the hell's going on in Philadelphia right now?
Yeah, I don't personally get that sense from Joel Embiid, but I think his goal has always been to be a Sixer and play at a high level. But listen, there's obviously major concerns with the fact that he came back from a knee injury, and then he's also dealing with a facial issue with Bell's palsy as well. So he's gutting it out. He's trying to play on it. He's trying to continue to go. And listen, it's like every
Bell's
year,
palsy,
it's unfortunate,
Jesus
right?
Christ.
Like
palsy?
every year, there's always unfortunately something. Whether it's a knee, there's always something unfortunately that happens. And Joel Embiid, you have to give him a lot of credit. He guts it out. He plays through it. He wants to be on the court. And there were arguments made, right? Like, nationally, people speculated about does it make sense for him to potentially not play in these playoffs? But he's gutting it out.
Yeah, and he's also full court defense, smacking the floor. Everybody's wondering why the guy has nothing in the fourth quarter. It's like he was trying to go coast to coast.
Yeah, what's he doing?
For like 3 quarters straight. It's like,
Can't do it.
Guy's got Bell's palsy?
Yeah, not good.
I had no idea that was even.
It just happened. He got it after he saw Logan Paul punch Jake
All right,
in the
okay.
face.
All right,
That's
last
it.
question
That's it.
here as we wrap up.
He muted us?
Are you in a lobby right now? They're telling you to shut up?
Basically.
And they're asking you to please stop talking? Is that just happened?
Pretty much.
All right, last question here. Something else.
Last question.
Super negative. Look at how nice the place. You're in places now. Remember, you used to be in that dingy little, stupid little office with the thing behind
spaceship
it.
deal.
Yeah.
And every single time he showed up, now he's in ballrooms.
I know.
And hotels that can't handle a little talking about ball.
Yeah.
That's wild. Sean.
Yeah.
Sean
out, Sean.
Charania. Last question here. Another negative thing. We apologize. And if you want to make the answer quick, cool. But let's make sure we give a good one here. Tone's got one for you, Sean.
Yeah, Shams, even though the Bucks record all year was pretty good, it just hasn't felt right there all year. Obviously, they brought Doc in, and then now Giannis and Dame are both hurt for their playoff series. Like, what
Doesn't matter, by the way. Pacers beat them.
Yeah.
Okay?
Well,
I'm enough with the fame. They're playing them.
Pacers were probably
That's
gonna
on
win.
you.
Yeah.
That's not on Tyrese Halliburton.
Still got
filling the
Thanasis.
bucket. Anyway. anyways.
They were probably going to win either way, no matter who was playing in that series, okay? Because
amen, brother.
They beat him.
Amen.
They beat him in the regular season tournament, and that means everything, okay? But what's going on with the Bucs? Like, just overall, like, is that as similar to the Sun situation, or what's going on there?
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, the injuries that they've had to deal with, right? Giannis with the calf strain, and then you have Damian Lillard now with an Achilles strain. And I'm told they're not expected to play tonight. And so, I think I'm going to get kicked out here, guys, by the way. So, but basically.
Are they all going to play for the same team next year, and what's going on?
The Bucs fully intend to bring this group back and revamp.
Got a gun behind the camera right now.
Shut up.
Got the gun pointed at
Don't answer that
Sean.
question.
Hang up the phone.
Blink 3 times if you think they're going to.
Answer, you son of a bitch.
That's for it.
Yeah.
That was for it.
Yeah, it's
I don't know what he's doing. What's that called?
Morse code.
Morse code
Yep.
with the blinks. I saw a video. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, Sean Charania. I saw a video of a former prisoner of war being held hostage, who they made a video.
John McClane.
Maybe. I know he was certainly one prisoner of war. Shout out to all of them that survived. I couldn't even imagine. It was like person was doing a video interview, though, blinked in Morse code.
Genius.
Yeah. Could you imagine?
They found him?
And it was the location or whatever. And it's like, could you imagine speaking and then controlling your eyes with a whole different it was. Now, granted, is that real? I have no idea.
Oh, yeah.
I believe it.
Oh, it's very real.
I definitely believe it, too, because they had grainy-ass footage, too, But AI could,
I should decipher.
You could put that right in my algo and be like, this doofus will believe this. It's like, this guy was Morse code.
Oh my God, you see that?
Was it community noted?
It was on Instagram, actually. It was on Instagram, so there's no telling.
No.
There's literally no
So it's
telling.
real.
I mean, it was a.
That's kind of the rule of thumb I have.
It was.
I like that.
Okay.
It did have over 1,000 comments, and everybody was like telling tales of other people potentially doing it.
The comments lately.
But loud.
Whoa.
Holy shit. People are getting wide open in those.
Close those comments, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. Need to think about it as a bear. So the first one was like former prisoner of war blinks his way to safety or something. So I'm like, let me check this out. And then you scroll, and it was the video of the entire thing was taking place. And then they said they found him. I'm like, wow. Is that human so much smarter than I could ever be in my entire life? Yes. But thinking about doing that and figuring it out and then executing it is a beautiful thing. Those are good things coming out of the internet.
Right.
Like, look what we used to be able to accomplish.
Yeah.
Look how smart people have always been.
Exactly.
That's what it's all about. It isn't just AI making 2 bears on the ice, making the world go upside down.
Yeah.
It's humans. Speaking of humans, we got a great one here. A Yinzer. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the voices of hockey. An absolute beauty. From ESPN. John Buccigross. Hey, I like the Buccos cut off. We were hot early. I don't know if we suck now, but I know the Bucks were hot early, Bucci.
14-16, Pat. We've lost 7 of 10. It's not looking good. We're not red hot, right now, let me tell you.
Yeah, we're back. It sounds like we're back. The Bucks are back, losing 7 out of 10, 14-16. We're undefeated there early, and now we're water finds its level, it says. But we got the Hundo boys ready to close out the season for us for the next 190 games. Let's talk about hockey and the things that are going on in there. Obviously, Florida Panthers cheated last night to get the big win over Tampa Bay. And do you
follow the rules?
They cheated.
What do you know about the rules?
Follow the rules.
What do you know about the rules?
Right.
You still got a sticker on the bottom of your hat,
Yeah,
asshole.
because that's cool.
Bucci.
Just like following the rules, man.
Well, that's a whole other conversation there. Bucci, should we be upset about that last night like the Tampa Bay's coach was, or is this just kind of how it's always been called and we need to respect it all?
Yeah, I mean, I thought they were both goalie interference. I love Coop. Coop's my boy. Yes. But I thought they were, the first one, he couldn't cover the puck with his glove, and the second one, Cirelli looked like he just spun into his leg. So I thought they were accurately called.
Okay, so we like the officiating that's taking place in this particular game, even though Tampa Bay's coach was thoroughly upset. They're out of it now, and there was this one sweep in the first round of the playoffs, and you chit-chatted about it on a tweet this morning or last night, I believe, about how, the Caps end up getting swept by the Rangers. The Empire State Building is obviously electrifying. The bread man is doing his thing, and we'll see if the Rangers are able to continue to go. But with the Capitals, I think you said it's time for Ovi to potentially commit a little bit more. Get a chef, work out a little bit. He was held to 0 points throughout the entire first series. That's not Ovechkin hockey. I guess he allegedly puts Pepsi in his water bottle during games. He doesn't work out ever. He's just a natural freak. And if he wants to get back to being this, he needs to focus in. Is that the key to the Capitals getting back into the conversation? And do you think that's a real conversation that Ovechkin will have with himself?
That's a good question. He's not the only answer. It takes 20 guys. 20 guys dress a hockey game every night. You need at least 14 really good ones, and he's just one guy. But I think just for himself and breaking the record, that's where he is in his career now. He turns 39 this September. So it's about, let's get rid of the Cheetos. Can we replace the Pepsi and the Gatorade bottles with actual Gatorade? Maybe some electrolytes, some Pedialyte, something with light beer, I think is better than, at this point, Pepsi and the water bottles. But we got to make a commitment, Pat. I mean, this isn't a good look.
Yeah, I think it was one of my birthdays. I forget which one it was. Maybe I turned 33 or something. And Bucci responded, "You're only 33. Let's lay off the carbs. Let's lay off the carbs. Obviously, you've been jacked for a long time.
No.
Yes, you have been in great shape. And I laughed so hard at your tweet. I want to let you know you're a thoroughly entertaining human being. But your hockey analysis is always fantastic as well. Let's stay in that series. And then we have questions from the boys. The Rangers have a chance this year? Did the Rangers have a chance this year? Now, they obviously sweep the Caps. A lot of people say negative 47 score goal differential for the Caps. They shouldn't have made it in, but they did with how the end of the season went. The Pens should have been in there. But do the Rangers have an actual legitimate opportunity here to win a Lordo? And could you fathom that fan base getting a Stanley Cup this year?
Yeah, an affirmative thought is 100 times more powerful than a negative thought. You know this, Patrick, more than anybody. So, yeah, the short answer is they got a chance. I mean, after watching them play, but let's face it, that was the 116 or the 164 NCAA tournament matchup, right? Rangers against the Capitals. The Capitals were the weakest team in the field. They were the last team in, goal differential. Them and the Islanders were dash. They were minus. They were under par, Masters champions. So that you really can't judge them against that series. Carolina is next, and then probably the Panthers after that. So that's the road for the Rangers, and it's going to be that's a difficult road. But just looking at everybody, the league has never been more even. We've talked about this before. The salary cap hasn't moved since the pandemic, so everybody's all evened that, and that's why we have what we have. But the East was a bit top-heavy, and so I wasn't surprised that was a sweep and that the Hurricanes were probably going to sweep. Could have had they won in overtime, so... Now it's all even Steven the rest of the way once the first round's over and it's anybody's ball game.
How about the Yinzer, Jake Gensel, getting kicked out of Pittsburgh in the middle of the season and then becoming like their guy down there in Carolina. Now they're the odds-on favorite to win it all. The Caniacs would be an awesome fan base to see them celebrate the Stanley Cup down there. 20,000 strong in that arena going bananas. Let's talk about another Eastern Conference team. Go ahead, con man.
Yeah, Bucci, obviously the Bruins right now are rolling. It was tied at 1-1. They rip off both the games in Toronto with Jeremy Swayman going full-time, it feels like. How do you feel about the Bruins' odds here, and do you think that Swayman will be the guy going forward or probably still going to bounce back and forth? And then also, Toronto, if they end up losing, are they completely blowing it up? Because word on the street is everybody wants out of that place, even Bieber.
Yeah, but you said Leafs win tonight. You said the Leafs win tonight.
Sack of wine.
That's what you said.
The Bruins have an awful Game 5 record recently. Just dreck. Terrible.
Doesn't mean anything.
They're going to get the best effort from Toronto and all those talented people tonight. Whether they can turn that to more than one game, we'll see. But it's just been, I think, the Bruins tend to be tense in these situations going back the last 6-7 years. Going back to Game 7 against St. Louis and Chicago as well. So, but boy, Brad Marchand, what a Hall of Fame legendary performance to put that little 5'8" guy, 35 years old, giant nose, 6.5 cap number.
What's that have to do with it, Bougie?
The nose matters. Nose goes.
To bring the whole city on his little deltoids and carry everybody, drag them into the fight. I mean, it has been total war with Bruins.
I love that. What is that? Is that an energy drink right there? Is that an energy?
Yeah. It's not war. It's total war.
It's not half-assing it, huh? We're all in.
No. I'm in the LA Fitness parking lot right now, ready to slam the tries and delts today, Patrick.
I love that. And Marchand, I think He's a beauty, honestly. And he's the one who said to Toronto, this is over in 5.
Yeah, said
over
that.
in 5.
Also set the record for most playoff goals in the history of the Boston Bruins.
Which is a pretty
That's
good one.
unbelievable. It's unbelievable. They've been playing hockey since 1923 in Boston, and this guy has your record. It's unbelievable.
Hey, you know what? It feels like hockey.
But yes, they're going to blow it up in Toronto. Everybody out. Sheldon Keefe, gone. Brendan Shanahan, gone. Mitch Marner, gone. They're all gone.
Well, I hope not Pablo. You know,
Pablo might want to be gone. He's got a little tummy ache, and he can't play tonight.
Okay. All right. Ty has a question for you, Bucci.
Bucci, what about Stars Golden Knights? Both teams obviously winning on the road. And I also noticed, even though they're the defending Stanley Cup champions, the Knights aren't in the top 5 of odds to win the Stanley Cup. How do you think the rest of that series is going to go, and why aren't the Knights up there? Is it because their goaltending stinks, or what's going on?
Yeah, I don't know how those people think, but the roster's strong. The goaltending, it was a question mark last year. Then Aiden Hill went out of his mind. You wonder if they'll go to him, although Logan Thompson's been good. The analytics, nerd alert, the analytics say that Dallas has been the stronger team throughout this series. And we saw it kind of those first 2 games. Vegas heavily outshot, still won. So that's what's great about 7-game series. You start to figure out your opponent. Everything kind of, like the Pirates, everything kind of comes back to norm over this. And Dallas is just a better team right now. The thing is, you dig a hole 0-2, it's hard to beat the same team 3-4 times in a row. So, Vegas could easily go back and win Game 5, and boom, they're in a position to win Game 6 at home. But Dallas has been the better team. So they're doing the more winning things, the more winning plays right now than Vegas, who has a bunch of new guys coming back, timing, how they feel, how's their body feel. Was it adrenaline at first? Then you have a bit of a dip before you really get in shape like Thomas Hertl. So there was a lot of question marks. That's probably why their odds where they are, all the roster question marks and the guilt playing with a $100 million salary cap number.
No, hey, listen, they're not the first.
Following the rules.
Okay, if you want to get rid of it whenever you vote in the next CBA. I like seeing a team kind of manipulate the salary cap to take advantage of their chance and opportunity. Speaking of chance and opportunity, Texas hockey doesn't have an actual chance here, right?
Thanks. Road Warriors, brother. Just won 2 in a row, going back home.
Yeah, but
looking for 3 straight, maybe 4 straight.
No.
Maybe wrap this thing up in 6.
No.
The way Otter's going, we got Wyatt Johnson, young Stug, scoring every damn night.
Okay.
It's Texas hockey's time, brother.
Well, Golden Knights stumbled on his skates before both these games. I think that's the only reason why.
You could argue we've outplayed them every game.
Well, I think that's what Bucci was actually saying.
Thank you, Bucci.
Yeah.
Good
point. You're welcome. Wyatt, good name for a hockey player in Dallas. Wyatt.
What's your favorite hockey name of all time? I'll go first. Sidney Crosby. It's dead.
Good run.
Håkan Lube for me. It's Håkan Lube.
That's a guy's name?
Håkan, Swedish, Hakan, Håkan Lube. Played with the Flames, late 80s, Stanley Cup champion.
That's a great Bucci,
kidding me?
Bucci, what a bull. Got that total war operating at all cylinders.
Bucci's been keeping Håkan Lube's name alive for about 20 years.
That's awesome. Tone Diggs says...
My fantasy hockey name, Håkan and the Lubes. That was my fantasy hockey name.
Okay, all right, good. Well, perfect. I'm happy that came up. Tone has a question for you, Booch.
Yeah, Booch, I wanted to ask you about the Oilers and McDavid. They won Game 7, 7-4, and then they lost Game 2, 5-4, and that felt like classic Oilers. But then the last 2 games, they've only given up 1 goal in the last 2 games. I know it's against Hockeywood and the Kings there. Is that something that the Oilers can do? Can they win those 2-1, 3-1 games that they haven't been able to in the past?
I think they can. I think they were my pick before the playoffs started to win it. I think the path for McDavid is opening up. I mean, Kings opening matchup, that's a good matchup. Vancouver next, that'd be a good second round matchup. They'd be a big favorite.
Vancouver's have their number this year, Bucci.
Win that. That's a different Oiler team. It's a different Oiler team. We got
3-0 this year, brother.
And they just have that serial, maniacal concentration, athletic focus right now that you need to win championships. And like Vegas didn't have that last night for me. And that's what you need this time of year. It's hard to win for 2 straight months in this atmosphere of pain and bruises and injuries. And I think, led by McDavid and Draisaitl. Draisaitl's playing unbelievable. And then all the complementary parts they put together, I think it's opening up for Edmonton. And then after Dallas, and/or Vegas and Colorado smash each other for 2 weeks, they'll be primed to get beaten.
Okay, we got 4 NHL games tonight. We got the Leafs at the Bruins, the Islanders at the Canes, Avalanche at the Jets, and then Predators at the Canucks. Talk about Vancouver right there. They came back from 3-1 the other day in Nashville. It was electrifying right in George Kittle's face.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, right in George Kittle's face. Hockey's been fantastic. What should we be keeping an eye out for this evening? Which game is a must-watch for maybe somebody that doesn't watch as much hockey and is looking to get in tonight, Booch?
The ESPN games, I'm not just saying this, but our doubleheader is Toronto-Boston and Colorado-Winnipeg. Those have been the better games night in and night out. So it's been the better television. Our ratings are through the roof. I mean, my blue eyes help, but I think the hockey being so good is better. And look, we have 4 3-1s, Pat. We could have 4 handshake lines tonight. Break out the Purell. We could have 4 handshake lines tonight.
Well,
all these series could come to an end.
Well, also, let's stretch these things out.
Well, some of
you know what I mean? Let's stretch these. Let's get a little bit more hockey.
Yeah.
We enjoy the hell out of the NHL playoffs. It has been electrifying like it has been since the beginning of time. Booch, you're a constant professional, and I can't wait to see what you do in that LA Fitness next, bub. Oh, we're playing basketball?
Tricep extensions.
Oh, that's
tricep extensions.
Skull crushers.
Yep,
what else? We
love the skull crushers.
So we're doing beach today. It's all beach lift today.
Oh, pool was yesterday. Today's a push day, Pat. Tries and delts.
Okay, well, good luck out there. Keep doing it, Booch.
Thanks.
You're the man, ladies and gentlemen. John Booch.
Yeah,
all right, good hockey night tonight.
Great hockey night.
Great. First shoot, great hockey night tonight.
The East, too. I mean, 2 of the other 2 series in the East are already wrapped up, so kind of huge games for Boston and Carolina.
Yeah, go ahead.
For the casuals, the seeding, how does that work?
Yeah, I don't think I fully understand it either.
Yeah, the seeding doesn't make
it's
sense.
It's by division, so like Atlantic 2 seed, Atlantic 3 seed, and then the Metro 2 seed and 3 seed there. They don't do 1 through 8 for some reason anymore, which drives.
And then there's judgment calls, right?
On
who plays who, the seedings is shit.
And then there's the wild card 1 and 2.
It's wild. I think they try to make the best, right? Isn't that kind of how hockey goes?
Yeah, I mean, like Dig said, they used to just do straight up 1 through 8 a couple years ago, and then they changed that a few years back with the CBA, and they really shouldn't have, in my opinion. They should have just kept it straight up 1 through 8.
Yeah, mostly because listen to us trying to explain it.
Yeah.
Come on, Gary.
It should be simple.
Yeah, and with how many good teams there are right now, too, you should be able to 1 through 8 this entire thing.
Well, and I think that's what, like me and Gumps were bitching about, too, is when they don't do it like that, then you got, I mean, obviously it's nice because, like, Golden Knights Stars, but, like, that's a rematch of the Western Conference Finals last year that we're getting in the first round as opposed to later in the playoffs.
They wanted the division rivals in the first round, correct? Is that
yeah,
why?
And that's why it basically, you win your division, you get a shot at one of the wild card teams, or if you are second in your division, you're playing the 3rd place team in your division.
Of course.
So it's not really much of a reward to finish second.
And you got to play a team that you've already played a bunch of times again. But it's awesome.
It's hockey.
Hockey is awesome.
That's hockey, baby.
It'll be tonight. We got NBA games tonight as well. The Sixers at the Knicks, the Magic at the Cavs, and the Pacers can wrap it up against the Bucks.
Ooh.
I believe if they do, we'll have A1 Halliburton on the program tomorrow.
Okay.
Nice.
Now, I am being told there's a chance the Atlanta Falcons general manager will not be joining us this week.
Why is that? Fontenot?
Okay.
I think I know why.
I think I have a sneaking suspicion.
I was
as well.
shocked when I first heard that he might be.
Next hour, we'll have a couple GMs, Chris Ballard and Brandon Beane on. Should be fantastic, as well as AJ Hawk. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Just like Dude Wipes. Take 3. Joining us, ladies and gentlemen, O's the Mentalist will be joining us.
All right, O's.
Let's go. What's the pick? I'm not giving away for free. Bill, what time is it right now?
7:57.
Write it as big as you can.
Wow. Okay.
It's about to get
This guy.
weird. From this point on, I never touch this bad boy. We're going to revisit later in the draft.
All right, O's, get in here, you sick son
Get
of a
weird.
bitch.
Almost 2 hours.
Hold it. Oh, don't drop it.
Oh, no.
After all that,
I dropped it.
Okay, AJ, take the cards, look through them, and here's the thing. I want this to be random. Yeah, you can.
Okay.
I don't
Yeah,
care
what's
what you
up?
do.
My hands are a bit
Here, stop,
frozen, but yeah.
I want you to take, but hold on. I don't want you to look for your favorite.
Bill's
I want
booking
you
Sean Payton right now.
to
There we go.
lift
Head
up.
wipe, Bill.
AJ, slow. Lift. No.
Let one of your guys.
Take off a piece.
Oh,
It could
you
be a
fucked
lot or
my
a little.
shirt. Oh, right here.
And don't look at it. Lift it up.
I'm not.
Put it against your body. That feel right?
Yeah, feels
AJ,
great.
if you don't feel like this is the right moment for you, you want to change, put it back.
All right, I'm putting it back.
It's up to you. All right, lift off wherever you want,
We're back.
more or less.
No, that's not, okay. Now I'm good.
3 times.
Good.
Okay.
This is a good one.
Are you sure?
Yeah, of course.
Stay right there, locked and loaded.
Oh, you fucked up my shirt, bro.
Okay. And there is a white piece of paper.
Yep.
Is that right? That's all that's in there. Take that out. I want you to see this. Look, AJ, open it up.
No fucking way.
No
and
way.
show us and show AJ what you got. What is that? Show us. 9 turn around and show us where you're at.
You ready?
Yep, turn it around.
No way.
Shut up! This guy!
757, that's important.
That's been in there since 7:57. Imagine that you somehow know the game of the year next season. Tell us, what are the two teams that you're seeing in this game? Say it.
Packers and 49ers.
Who do you think's going to win that game?
Packers 34, Niners 27.
Tell me on your life. Did I tell you to say anything? Did I
You
say
did it, and I swear to God, if you get this right, I'm gonna rip your fucking head off.
Tell him the game of the year.
Oh my
Read
God.
Read it to him, please.
Come on, bro.
Read it to him. Packers beat the 49ers 34-27. Remember this screen grab when it happens this season. Open up what's been in there since 7:57.
Come on, dude. There's something wrong with you.
Open it up. It says Brock Bowers, 13th
How?
pick Raiders.
Fuck this guy.
How?
Fucking way! There's no way!
This guy's a witch. Bears, Caleb Williams.
100% we knew it.
Commanders, Jaden Daniels.
No, don't you
Patriots, Drake May. Cardinals, Marvin Harrison Jr. Chargers, Joe Walt. Giants, Malik Neighbors. Titans, J.C. Latham. Michael Penix Jr. Roma Dunze. Vikings from
Traded
Jets.
with the Jets.
What? J.J. McCarthy, Jets from Vikings. Olu Fashanu, Broncos, Bo. Knicks, and then the 13th pick.
Oh my God!
Bowers to the Raiders.
I'm so happy I'm not.
Beautiful.
Taped on his chest since 7:57. Right now it is 9:50.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
What?
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers,
You pig!
Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Sport!
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this GM Tuesday, April 30th, 2024. Hour 2 of the program starts now.
Sports!
Are wonderful. We're lucky to talk about them every single day. It's not just me, obviously. The Toxic Table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Boys,
It's on fire!
there's some sage burning over here, a little bit stronger than I think any of us could have imagined, but that's good because we're getting the bad vibes out and keeping the great vibes, which is good news for one half of the Hammer.
Dahn!
Cowboys, Tone Diggs. How you guys been betting here in this off-season stuff?
Pretty average for me personally. The other guys have been pretty great, but I've been pretty average if we're just being honest. But, you know, so we are.
Average
What
isn't
we-
bad. I mean,
What an answer.
Okay.
Remind me never to ask you that question again. Okay.
Well, I said the other guys are doing great.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of mumbled through that part there. I mean, we could have. You're a good gambler,
Was
Tony.
I supposed to lie?
You're a good gambler, Tony.
I mean, we have that. People keep track of the picks. I mean, been average at best as of late.
Okay, what does that mean? 50-50 or?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're.
I'm losing the juice. Okay.
What? You're losing steam?
No. Like, you know, if I go 3-3, I'm losing the minus 110. I'm losing the 10 cents on every dollar.
Oh, got it. Okay. And Bubba Gumpino, the other half of the
Dominate.
Hammer.
Dahn.
Cowboys, Tone Diggs. You're throwing gas right now, pal?
Yeah, we still love the baseball. Love the baseball.
First five we still doing?
Yeah, and NHL playoffs, the way it's been, you just moneyline parlay all the favorites, kind of been hitting every night.
Did go 2-0 in the NHL playoffs last
There you
night.
go.
oh,
Wow, that could have been first answer.
Tony.
Yeah, boy, don't.
That could have been.
1-2-1 in baseball, so you know that evens out to.
We went 4-1 last night.
It's an incredible show. Hammer, every single day out of this particular Thunderdome, giving out picks. For somehow, over the last 3 years, they've remained above 500 pretty good.
So we thought.
And, well, This guy, I don't know what his deal is. It's like
Win
you guys
some,
are
you lose
you guys
one.
are good gamblers, dude. And Gumpy, at some point, he's going to have to stop doing 40 bets a day.
You have to call 1-800.
Yeah.
Responsible, whatever.
And we have told him that numerous times. And if you're out there, you should gamble responsibly. And you shouldn't blindly follow the hammer Dahn boys. But these guys are winners and have been for a long time. That's not a guarantee.
No.
I'm just saying that's what the last 3 years have told us. 9 years in the NFL. Ladies and gentlemen, Darius J. Butler is here.
Yeah,
Cool look today. Just kind of a casual blue for D-Butch.
Yep. A little Navy Nike Tech.
Oh, because it matched the Panthers hat.
Yep.
And the Panthers cheated to win.
I think we just heard Bucci. We respect Bucci, right?
Easy answer.
All right, yeah. They were good calls, fair calls.
Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a college football national champion, a Super Bowl champion, a Ryder Cup winner, a man who has 4 kids, and the best jawline in sports. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hall. AJ Fontenot can't come on the program anymore. Yep.
So I heard it was actually a real thing that he was actually going to come on, because I assumed this was all a work, brother.
Well, to be clear, we all were very surprised that he was maybe doing any interviews. The fact he was doing our show was like, okay, that makes sense, because he understands that we'll at least give him a forum to chit-chat about the decision that he made. And then once he says it, we'll go, okay, that's how he feels. He was the one that was making the decision as opposed to us. But we would certainly have some questions, as does the rest of the world now. He's potentially busy, trying to make the Falcons better, and we completely understand that.
Wow. I mean, there's one guy that I would like to know if he wanted him to come on or not, and that'd be Rich McKay, but that's just me.
Well, see, that's potentially another reason why with the whole bill, there's a lot. We still love Raheem Morris.
Yep.
Can't wait to chat with Terry Fontenot in the future. In the future, we will ask him, though, no matter when.
Right.
Well, no matter when which might turn out to be a brilliant pick. We have no idea what's going to happen with the Falcons. But we do know that in a matter of moments, Chris Ballard will join us. Brandon Beane will join us. John Lynch will join us Thursday, general manager of San Francisco 49ers. Today at 1:40 Eastern, it'll be Omar Khan.
Yes.
General manager of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So we'll be feeling the beat here in a matter of moments, AJ. And it's, I believe we got Matthew Tkachuk joining us tomorrow of the Florida Panthers. Obviously an absolute stud. Tyrese Halliburton potentially joining us if they're able to get the job done tonight against the Bucs, but that's no guarantee, and he didn't tell me that either. It was like, hey, if you guys close it out quick, yes, when the series is done, he'll come on. That means tomorrow then.
Yep.
So we're cooking right now, AJ. Sports seems to be alive right now, AJ Hawk.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of alive, has anybody checked on Shams? I was watching, that was a bit troubling. What the hell happened? Did that hotel grab him and kill him?
Yeah, and where's he staying where it's that uncomfortable to be sitting in the lobby?
Yeah, they're going to cut him. Obviously, it's not just like a normal FaceTime call they could probably figure out. I don't know.
Is there not and this is not us saying like look around, but is normally everywhere I go, there is a TV, especially if it's a hotel lobby, and it's normally on ESPN. Shout out to ESPN having the real estate that it has. I wonder if Shams is potentially just on a TV, like right as this person is like, what are you doing? And Shams mutes. I'm doing an interview. You get out of here. We don't need. Did you ask to do this? I don't think so. Shams couldn't even give us an answer on the Bucs. Couldn't even give us an answer on Giannis and Dame Dollar and everything going on up there. Couldn't even. He said, I got to get out of here, boys. This is what it is. Did say Darvin Ham's hot.
Yeah.
He said Darvin Ham, he's gone. That's what I heard there. I heard LeBron James and Bronny are going to be on the Lakers next year. Austin's gone. Sounds like Austin is going to be a trade piece, and maybe Trae Young's going there. So we got a lot out of Shams before he got physically assaulted and removed from wherever he was doing that interview at.
I believe he's on the West Coast, right? I mean, what the hell is going on in a hotel ballroom at 9:10 a.m.?
Is that what time it would be? 10? Oh, that would be last hour, I guess.
Yeah, because he came on at 12:10, like at the top of the show. What the hell's going on in there? They just looked at him. They said, we don't like the cut of this guy's jib. Get his ass up. Get him out of here.
You think it was a leather coat?
I think it might have been.
Could have been.
He always looks so cool. We told him he was going to come back and bite you in the ass.
Yeah, someday.
And here it was, some ballroom.
Yep.
Somebody, you think he'll look like that in our ballroom? You think he can talk about basketball in our ballroom?
Maybe they thought he was like part of the Hell's Angels or something.
Could have been.
Oh, my God.
Get him out of the lobby
There
now.
he is.
This guy moving weight?
Yeah.
Moving guns? That could have been. What if that thing was sleeveless? We just didn't even.
Or he
That-
accidentally
that-
rizzed the GM of the hotel's wife, and not going to happen.
He is the Riz God.
He's a Riz god.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I didn't think about that.
Not at all. What if he turned down the front office? Anybody?
I was thinking
Probably
like,
the case.
Maybe Woj owns the hotel.
You're telling me he's like, I have exclusive rights to ballroom interview at your hotel, if you do recall.
Get him out now.
Get him out, move him, throw him. I wonder if he was physically escorted out of that entire room.
He was scared. Yeah.
Let's get the name of it. Can we call him back? Let's call Shams back, get the name
He's
of that
staying
hotel.
there more days. Like, I hope he has to stay there. Like, I hope he still has to see those people.
I would like to never go to that place, though. You know, I think we should.
Could be like a casino
He had
situation.
earbuds in, too. It's not like it was like a super loud. You know, it is annoying when someone's FaceTiming in a huge crowded area. He had earbuds and everything. You could just hear him, not us.
Every once in a while, I'll do the program from a hotel room, and I'll do the earbuds thing. You forget how loud you're talking.
Yeah, sure. That's true.
'Cause you can't
That's
hear.
true.
You know, it's like all of a sudden you get a knock on the door, and it's like, we've got to know. Are you gonna? 2 more hours. Yeah. Okay, we've got a couple calls from people. You're yelling in here. Can you maybe? I am so sorry. I forgot about these paper thin walls. What if Shams is screaming in that ballroom at 9:10 a.m. and they're like, "What are we doing? It's 9:10 a.m." Ladies and gentlemen, join us now. Hopefully, not battered and bruised. Shams Charania.
Nice.
Shams, did you get physically escorted out of that ballroom last hour or no?
No, not physically. It was just I didn't know that they had a conference. You know, no harm, no foul. We keep it moving. We always handle things classy, professionally.
Yeah, you
and,
do.
we move on.
So what was
We
the
move on.
conference that was going on? Was it one of those motivational speakers like, you know, this guy?
Tony Robbins.
What was it?
I guess, you know, even though it hadn't started yet, even though the meeting part hadn't started yet, I guess it was a confidential conference, so you got to respect it.
It hadn't started yet, so nobody was in there, right? It looked like an empty room.
Yeah.
Shams is more bothered than he's letting on, as they say.
Was it racist whites, Shams? Is that what it was? It old racist whites that said they didn't like how cool you look?
Everyone's entitled. You know, if you have a conference room, you're entitled to it. So we understand it. We get it. We just want to talk sports. We just want to talk a little bit of NBA. You know, that's what we're here for.
Well, we couldn't because these racist old whites kicked you out of a ballroom that wasn't being used. This is awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, Shams Charania. Thanks. You're happy you're okay,
I
Shams.
appreciate you. You're a true friend for checking on my well-being, so I appreciate that.
Well, yeah, I never want to stay at that place, too. We're not going to out it.
Yeah, what's it called? What's it called again?
We're not going to out it. I'm looking at the curtains. We can start guessing. Ladies and gentlemen, Shams Charania.
Motel 6?
Super 8. I think it's at least a Super 8.
Super 8.
You know what they say about these cheap hotels?
What's that?
They're like tight jeans, no ballroom.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
that is true.
So that's an expensive.
Yeah.
That is an expensive hotel. I didn't make that up. That has been around for about 1,000 years, and I'll tell you, I never thought I would find an opportunity. But here we are.
You never know.
This is like whenever you are at your second rodeo.
Sure.
You know,
Right.
and somebody asks you, "You ever been to one of these before?" And you can just drop literally, "This ain't my first rodeo." That has to be a good time. Let's never miss those. Ladies and gentlemen, we are a regional show that is kind of, shot out to the world internationally. And we're at a 30,000-foot view of basically everything. We wanted to get into the weeds and learn more so we could be more intelligent and more insightful to the people that watch and listen. So we created a segment called Feel the Beat where we'd be able to dabble with the beat writers of the towns and talk to them about what's going on, boots on the ground. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to do it again, but it's not with beat writers. No. It's with general managers. Ladies and gentlemen, let's feel the beat. I was really feeling the beat. You guys were as well.
Uh-huh.
Let's go deep into the weeds, ladies and gentlemen. General manager of the Indianapolis Colts with some fresh new long hair, Chris Ballard.
Yeah, Chris.
How are you?
Thanks for having me. I'm good. How are y'all?
Hey, great. Let's talk about the hair. When did that start? And yeah, we gotta have to. Yep, smart. Yep, there you go.
Better?
Yeah, because you look like Siciliano there, actually, from NFL Network for a second. How long have we been growing out the hair? That was almost the show stealer of the entire draft weekend, Chris.
Last summer, we vacation up in northern Wisconsin every summer, and good family friend of mine, and I went to college with. His family meets us, and his son, Jack, who is great, he had this beautiful hair. And I said, damn, your hair looks good. And he looked at me and said, why don't you grow yours out? I said, all right. So that's what we'll do. We'll do it for a year. And so it's been since last July. And of course, he works football. He's still in college, but he works on a team. And I look up about week 3 of the season. I see him on the sideline, and he has got a shaved head.
Oh, wait.
I go, hold on here, man. So I got this thing going, and you've backed out on me.
Yeah.
So, but I let it keep rolling. My kids are begging me to cut it. But now it's a point of pride. Now we're just going to let it roll.
I love that. How's the wife feel?
AJ, I'm coming to get you, AJ.
Yeah,
yours way better. You look way better than mine ever did, man. You look good. Keep it in.
Man,
Obviously,
yours
super
looks
jacked.
good, man.
So are you going here if we can? We're taking this
your
son
lats
bitch.
look good. Shoulders.
Yeah, you are jockey.
If I go I don't know if I can go that far, but we'll see.
Okay, so the hair's going.
Yeah,
love it.
All right, Frank, put it on the ticker. Chris Ballard.
Don't cut it until you win the Super Bowl.
Boom.
Okay, we'll do it.
Put it on the ticker.
All right.
AJ, good brain over
like
there.
10 months away.
Okay, let's talk about having a great brain. You re-sign a lot of your own. Congrats. That sends a message to the entire league and to everybody what type of culture you want to build. Going into the draft, you end up with, in your words, the best rusher in the draft with Leatu Latu. Did you see the draft going that way? And did you think you were going to have a chance to get him in that first round?
We didn't know if he would get to us. I mean, I thought there was a couple spots in the top 10 that he could go. But that run on quarterbacks, I mean, when you get lucky enough to get 6 quarterbacks come off in front of you, we knew we were going to have a chance to be looking at a pretty good player and one of the best defensive players. I thought there was a couple defensive players that warranted top 10 picks that ended up falling in the teens.
Okay, so when you get Leatu Latu and we beef up that particular side of the ball yet again with another pick, was it always going to be defense or was it whoever?
No, we were going to take what we thought was going to be the best player to help either side of the ball. And whether that was a wideout, whether that was a tight end, whether that was a rusher or whether that was a corner, we wanted to make sure we dialed in, got the best player, and just fortunate enough. Look, rushers are hard to come by. Guys that have double-digit sack potential are really difficult to come by. So when he fell to us, we felt very fortunate.
Okay, so you pick up A.D. Mitchell, obviously, next, and we get a wide receiver. You thought we needed more weapons because I was out here obviously screaming, hey, let's Stephon Diggs ends up with the Texans. Why can't he end up at the Colts? Don't we think we need to add a little help for Dahn and Pittman and for AR whenever he comes back? You do that in the draft. You saw this as a deep wide receiver class, could get one if you needed one and planned on it, yeah?
Yeah, we felt it was an excellent class, and we had a good feeling that somebody would fall. We didn't. I mean, you never know. Like people say they know, you don't freaking know. I mean, we're all trying to figure it out as we go along, and so being able to get AD and with his talent level to add to the mix was that was a little bit of luck. I wish I could sit here and tell you it was skill, but you got to get a little lucky.
Yeah, well, I'm pumped to watch him. Yeah. I can't wait to see him, AR, JT,
Josh Dahn,
Pittman Jr. Come on. Go ahead, AJ.
No, and Gould, look, and we took another kid I really like, Anthony Gould, that I think is another explosive option for us, plus especially in the return game. And his speed is real now, and we think adding that element, to the return game and some things he can do on offense is going to help too.
Hey, new kickoff. You get a guy with some gas, you can really take advantage of it, is what everybody's thinking. You drafted for that?
It was interesting. Y'all, by the way, your draft show was freaking excellent. It was excellent. It was excellent with Bill.
Yeah, Bill.
And listening to him talk about it, and then when it almost turns into punt. It's almost like a punt return. So it's a little different than it was before where you had all this space. There's not going to be as much, more like a punt where there's not going to be as much space. So you need a couple guys that can make you miss, then have the speed to finish it. So, and we think he has that talent.
Okay. Go ahead, AJ.
Chris, have you been able to identify why there's so many offensive players taken in the top of the first round this year compared to other years? Maybe we were talking yesterday on the show, and we don't really know. Is this just how it goes? Is it cyclical? Like, is there a reason or some reason you point 5 years ago why this might be?
Well, I mean, look, the league is score points. I mean, without question. I mean, the rules are they're slanted that way where, yeah, they want you to score more points. So I think that has a little bit something to do with it. I think the quarterback position and the value of the quarterback position, allowed 6 guys to go, in that first 15 picks of the draft, first 12 picks of the draft, really, is unique. And I don't think every year you'll see it like that. I mean, to get 6, that's just a unique year.
D-Bot's got a question for you, Chris.
Yeah, obviously the draft just wrapped up, and not going to tip your hand too much, but with the available free agents out there, I know you spoke a little bit, maybe a corner, safety, but the available free agents out there, how active can we expect you guys to be, or is there a number you already kind of have on guys? Is the guys out there just waiting for teams to meet those numbers? How does that work for you guys?
Well, I mean, right now, we're always gauging that market, and we'll be pretty patient here. I want to see how these guys respond. And I know we've got our secondary's got a lot of criticism because they're young, but we do think they're very talented, especially with Juju coming off and hopefully get a healthy year out of here. I think Jones I thought he played really well for a rookie. About as well as you can expect any rookie to play. Getting Kenny Moore back, getting Flowers back in the mix, that's a position we feel good about. And then being able to sign Blackman back at the safety position, and then getting Scott back, who got hurt last year during the last mini camp towards ACL, who we drafted in the 5th last year, that we think really has big upside. We're excited for. But look, we've got our eyes on the market. I mean, sure, like everybody else does. And between now and the start of the season and the end of the season, we'll make sure we got enough that we can win games with.
Yeah, last year at training camp, you said, corner's young, but we're going to learn quickly. We're going to learn quickly. And you had a lot of trust in him. And, hey, we're so close to the playoffs last year.
Yep.
So many injuries, brand new head coach. Obviously, training camp situation with Jonathan Taylor ends up getting settled. But it was like last year had so much adversity and so much shit, still almost made the playoffs and won the AFC South. I assume hopes are, we got, yeah, let's go, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, look, and I give the stat. Like, you find out when excuse me, I'm not going to cuss anymore on TV.
Don't be a loser. Don't let him be. Is that Conti telling you what to do? Hey, Conti, shut up, Conti. This guy's allowed to talk however the hell he wants.
Connie's shark tattoo, you have no idea the gift. That was the gift that keeps on giving.
Okay, good.
It just keeps on giving.
Oh, he's the best. Conti is the best. And you're allowed to swear however you want. It means you're telling the truth, I think, personally.
Well, hey, look, as listening to the Draft Day show, I go, man, that is awesome. I mean, they're just being real on the Draft Day show. That thing was great.
Okay, thank you. Mad Mel certainly had some moments. Out there.
No, but when it comes like the staff, to watch Shane and them work, like, you don't know. I mean, the turnover with head coaches in this league is crazy. So you don't know. And to watch them react under extreme circumstances when it gets hard and still be able to find a way, that's exciting, because Shane and the staff never once flinched. Shane, he always tells, look, Chris, we'll make work whoever we got. And that's a fun thing as a general manager, because whatever a guy can do, he's going to find a way to make him work.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch. I mean, just as a season ticket holder, now going to be in there. Thank you, Pete Ward. Thank you, Pete Ward. And you, I assume you're a part of that entire. Yep, there it is. Yep, okay. I appreciate you doing that. The style of football this past season versus 2 years ago is like, it was impossible to watch. Now everything's exciting. We're in it. We love Shane Steichen around here, and I think for good reason. He was at the Pacers game the other night. They put him on camera. He goes, let's go. Even does like a little bit of a human motivation. I love him. I can't wait to see what your team does. I also appreciate you sticking up for a lot of people. Connor's got the last question for you.
Yeah, Chris, obviously with the draft always comes teams bashing players, sometimes because, they want that guy, sometimes just because they're starting a narrative. And you came out and talked about, what was going on with A.D. Mitchell, and he dropped, obviously. But how do you balance that as a GM, hearing those rumors and then also kind of taking into account who, the person is that you interviewed? And then just out of curiosity, were you really mad because you were the one spreading rumors about A.D. Mitchell so you would get him?
No, it wasn't me. Truth be told, right before I walked in, Connie showed me something, and it kind of set me off, and just the timing and of it, happened to set a little spark with me. We do our own work, and I'm not going to let the outside noise dictate what we do and who we take and who we draft. I have a lot of faith in our scouts and the work they've done, our coaches and the work they've done. Look, not everybody when you're 20, 21, 22 years old is perfectly. I mean, we all done some things in our lives.
Yeah, amen.
And it's the young men that come in this league, they got a lot of pressure already. And, it's our job to help them grow up. I mean, it's one of the things that we do take pride in is with our players that we're going to help them develop not only as players, but also off the field to be the best men they can be, best husbands they can be, best in their communities. So it's deeper than just being the best player you can be. We got a well-rounded program. David Thornton, who I know you know well, is incredible. Sure. I mean, I'd find it hard to believe there's someone better than him. And so anytime that stuff starts coming out, after you've taken a player, it doesn't sit me. It doesn't do any good in my mind.
How do we feel about AD, though? We like him, huh? After you chatted with him?
Yeah, oh yeah. No, we're excited. We're excited about AD.
Hey, me too.
We're excited about him.
Was there a chance that, speaking in the wide receiver department, I potentially threw something out into the universe a couple weeks before the draft, and I apologize. You didn't hear
That's
it,
okay.
though, because you say you keep the outside noise out.
Mm-hmm.
But we all understand the reality of the Indianapolis Colts, okay? We all understand this?
I hear y'all, though, because I listen.
Well, you shouldn't, but you get it. Jim Irsay could have walked into that draft room, right, and said, hey, there's a guy in our Ring of Honor who has a son. Let's go ahead and get him. Now, I'm not saying Jim would do that. Jim loves ball. Jim wants the best for the team and everything like that. But there is a chance Jim Irsay wakes up on draft morning and says, let's do that. I just said that because we're talking about the draft for 2 weeks, for 3 hours. But then it started becoming a thing. Like, hey, maybe the Colts do that. How much movement was there potentially in your eyes, in thoughts, in sights? And how much chatter was there about a Ring of Honor son being available in this particular draft class?
Well, there's no question we thought there was some wideouts in this draft that, especially up there at the top, that we thought were game-changing players. You've got to be able to make a move like that, you got to have a team that wants to move. And, usually when a team wants a quarterback, well, they're not going to take the chance to move down. All right. And then when you got two really unique players that they're looking at, it's hard to get teams to look down. So we explored a lot of possibilities like we do every year. But at the end of the day, we ended up staying put at 15 and taking Latu, which we're very pleased with.
And then A.D. Mitchell. I mean, it feels like it worked out for every team. Seemingly, we're excited to watch them.
I would always say, it's worked out for everybody right now.
Not everybody. Yeah. I don't know if you hear what's going on in Atlanta, Chris. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Ballard. Thank you, Chris. What a draft. Chris Ballard. Let's continue to bounce around the NFL and learn from the people that were actually making the decisions. Thank you to Chris for joining us on this glorious GM Tuesday. It's time to once again feel the beat. Ladies and gentlemen, it might have been a fill time until this next person has joined us. He has.
Okay.
The Buffalo Bills general manager since 2017, Brandon Beane. How are you, boss?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. Good to see you boys.
I'm a little winded. We're feeling the beat a little bit too hard there, waiting to get you on air. Thank you for joining us on this glorious Tuesday. You look fantastic. How's life after the draft is over? Are we a little bit more relaxed? Is the draft a big game? How do you view it as general manager?
Yeah, it's you take a deep breath, and then in this seat, you say, what's next? And it's start working on your scouting staff. Is there any changes there? Start working on some things just throughout your football operation. And then obviously next weekend is our rookie camp. So we're still working on filling that out and just trying to line everything up. It doesn't stop. It's just kind of like, what's next?
Okay, so let's talk about some of the moves that you might make. Are you firing the person who said, yeah, we should trade with the Kansas City Chiefs and make them better, whenever they are the person or the team that we got to play against every single year in the playoffs? Did you hear that narrative? And is that a thought that you have to take into consideration whenever you're making moves on draft night?
Yeah, listen, anytime we trade with someone, if people think, you should take a player there, offense, defense, in this case, receiver, you're always going to get criticized. And it'll have to play out on the field, ultimately with the players that we acquired, the player they acquired. But you can only, it's not like we traded the player to Kansas City. I get that narrative. Like if we had traded, Stephon Diggs to Kansas City, well, why would you trade him there? You don't truly know who someone's going to select when you trade with them. They're not going to call and say, hey, we're trading up and we're going to take this player. And if you don't trade with them and you pick a different player, they can still trade up with someone else. So I've never understood that narrative. I'm sure they didn't just call the Buffalo Bills to trade up. They probably called some other teams too.
Okay, so you end up trading twice. So you go 28-32, and then you go Carolina comes up 32. You go to 33 or whatever for the second round. You take Keon Coleman, who his press conference in that Macy's jacket, top of the line. I hope we got him some good snacks.
Yes.
I hope we got him a microphone a lot. But then the story goes on that Josh Allen loved Keon Coleman, loves the draft process. Is that a big piece of why you bring in Keon? And when you make that trade, you think you can get him whenever you trade back, so it's not that big of a deal for the Buffalo Bills?
Yeah, I mean, when we were there, at 28, there were good players on our board. We felt there were some guys on offense and defense, similar values. A year ago, we had one guy sticking out in Dalton Kincaid, and so we made the move to trade up. Like we feel if we don't get him, that we're going to have to drop back and take a lesser player. We felt we had guys on both sides of the ball. We didn't want to take a huge leap, so we went from 28 to 32, and then we're still looking at our board going, hey, we still got a little bit up there, and Carolina was being aggressive and traded up for Leggett. So we were trying to not go down in value the best we could, but also acquire some more draft capital.
And that's all happening. Is this all filmed? The Buffalo Bills social media team does a great job and content team. Is this all filmed, you making these calls and conversations? And how many of those happen throughout the night before 28 gets there?
Yeah, I mean, first half of the round, with 28, the first half of the round, your phone's not really ringing. When we got into the 20s, our guys are checking about, hey, if a player falls this far, you're not telling the player, but maybe we trade up. But at the same time, got another guy that's working the teams behind us, in this case, Kansas City. And then Dan Morgan and I worked together, for years. And so once we were at 32, I waited to see if, who was taking at 31. And then called Dan and jumped on the horn, and he was like, yeah, because I knew earlier in the day that they might be interested in trading back in around 1, so gave him a quick call, and we got it done pretty fast.
Yeah, and have you heard Leggett talk? Have you heard him?
Yeah, I met him. He's I know at South Carolina they have what they call the mud package, which they told me was about this dude's out in the country, out in the mud, hunts hogs, and he was a cool guy. Like, you guys need to get him on your show. We really thought a lot of him.
Yeah, I don't know anything about him. I just heard him speak, and the first time I heard his one sentence that was, they told me 9:30. As soon as I heard it, I was like, okay, would love to talk to this guy forever, not just on the program. Yeah. Should be a lot of fun. We have put a request in for him to join the program. Hopefully that'll take place. Go ahead, AJ.
Yeah, so when you're trading back, I guess, what's it feel like, and do you ever feel pressure from the outside when you are trading back and you're patient and you're building picks and you're kind of playing the long game? It's always the sexy thing. People get excited when you trade up and do something. Does that ever factor into any decisions you make when you feel like, all right, well, we need to make a splash or something?
Yeah, I mean, listen. If you worry about the outside, they don't have all the facts. There's, however you put it, we know a lot more as far as where we have guys who are smart, guys who are not smart, guys who fit our DNA, guys who fit our system. So they truly don't know all the facts to be able to tell you whether to trade up or trade back. I've been more of a trade up guy than a trade back. So people have gotten on to me in the past for trading assets away. And you know how it is. You can't win. Whatever you do, somebody's going to second guess you. This year we decided to trade back, and that pissed some people off too. So what are you going to do?
Yeah, we were booing your ass.
Big time.
We were booing your ass on the Draft Spectacular. Mostly because we were hoping to get a chance to chat with you on draft night. Once you moved to 32, we're like, we're not waiting.
Nope.
And then you got out of there. I mean, that was only 4.5 hours this year.
Yeah, pretty quick.
Pretty good. That was a shorter draft than normally it would be 6 to 7 hours somehow.
Shout out to Baltimore. There's clips coming out. It took Baltimore 7 seconds to make their selection at 30.
Thank you, Baltimore.
Yep.
Thank you for doing that and just buying into the whole, we got to watch this thing. Speaking of buying in, whole new team maybe. D-But's got a question for you, Beane.
Yeah, last year on the field, you guys kind of flipped the switch. Some would say from the outside looking in, looked like you guys went more of like a 12 personnel team. Saw Josh Allen go under center more. So almost the identity of the team kind of changed a little bit. Obviously, you let Diggs go. You traded him. You let Gabe walk in free agency. Great pick with obviously Coleman at the top of the draft. But how much did that change going into this draft with that new philosophy? And is that the plan kind of going forward around Josh Allen?
Yeah, I mean, I think we did have some 12 package adding Kincaid with Dawson Knox here that we used a lot last year. And then Dawson went out. He had to have surgery on his hand or whatever. And so we started. We also got hot in an 11 package. We got our run game going after Joe Brady took over. James Cook got rolling late and really thought it took some pressure off of Josh in the passing game to do that, just being a little more complimentary football down the stretch. And we played our best football. So we do want to be balanced. We want to be able to throw the ball. You do have to do that for sure. And it's just trying to find enough pieces that do different things, giving Joe Brady and Josh the various weapons that you can line up to get mismatches, whether we're in 11 or 12.
Yeah, and Josh dialed in, through the draft process. I think I heard you say in an interview where you'll be on a golf course or something, you'll get a call from Josh, or you'll be down at the Senior Bowl, you get a call from Josh. He had just seen a highlight maybe on his phone, like, hey, what do we know? I just saw a guy.
Who's that?
I just saw a guy go, what do we know about this guy?
Yeah.
He's plugged in through the entire thing. Does he want to be a GM someday, or is he just a voice?
He don't want to do that, but he does love the process. He likes the mock draft. I swear the guy's done 200 mock drafts, and he'll send me what his final tally of our draft was. Hey, Beane, I traded next year's 2, but with that, I got us, these guys. And you look at it, and the first 4 picks are all like guys that we have in the top 50 on our board. Like, Josh, this is not real, reality. But I love that he loves it, and it's fun. And listen, we'd be stupid not to hear some of his thoughts on things. So knowing that we would probably look at a receiver in the first few rounds of the draft, we gave him some guys. He sat down with a couple of our coaches, and I walked in there one day and we busted balls a little bit about who he liked. Why do you like him? Let's hear what you know. And so he gave his 2 cents. He also, I give him credit. He knows that he doesn't have the complete picture on each player, but Keon was one of the guys he definitely did like. He was like, I'd be fired up if that was one of the guys we got. And so after we traded into speaking of golf, I haven't been golfing, but he played over at one of the courses up in Philly, Pine. I can't remember what it is.
Well, I don't know because I don't get to golf. So what course?
Where was it? Pine Valley. Yeah, he played Pine Valley.
Of course, Pine Valley.
Yeah.
The John's over there.
One of the best.
That's in Delco?
Yeah.
That's in Delco over there? Sorry about that.
So he's from the driving range on Friday morning, and he's like, hey, what are you thinking? And I said, well, of course, I'd like to be where you're at. But secondly, I told him, I said, unless somebody blows us away, we're going to take Keon, with a trade offer. And so he thought that was cool. He was fired up.
Yeah, he feels like he's a scout in there. Josh seems like just bro.
Yeah.
Perfect guy. And he's invested. I love that. The fact that you take his information is huge too, because we've heard there's been some other places that are like, hey, quarterback, shut up. Even if you're all pro and you're the one that's going to have to work with these people every single day, they don't want their feeling. It's like, that makes no sense. That's why, hey, feels like this Bills culture has been, right? We got to win now. We got to win. Now's the time to go. Speaking of now and the time, Connor has a statement or a question.
Yeah, Brandon, just as a Patriots fan, I'd like to know if you're shaking in your boots because there's a new big, white, athletic son of a bitch throwing the football for the Patriots this upcoming season. Are you scared? Are you nervous? Because I would be, because it looks as though the Patriots are turning it around already, brother.
Yeah, they made a good move. We like that Drake May a lot. I was hoping. I know Elliott said he was. I did talk to Elliott through the draft, and I told him, I said, it was a good move. We were hoping you traded the pick. A lot of good things out of Drake May. We didn't get to spend time with him. Obviously, we weren't in the quarterback market, so didn't get to be around him. But everyone at the school raved about his leadership, and obviously you see the physical tools. So. New England got a good one for sure.
AFC East doing what AFC East does. Last question here from Tone Diggs. Beane?
Yeah, Brandon, you took Travis Clayton, who was a International Pathways NFL draft guy out of England, who I believe he's 6'8", 300 pounds. Like, what's the scouting like that for the International Pathways like? And then how much is the success of like Jordan Mailata, who's I believe came out of that at tackle, same position? How much is the success of him gone into like more guys getting opportunities out of there?
Yeah, I mean, Tony, you don't get into this seat smartly drafting players that you've never seen play football before. So I'll start there. But we got this. We sent a scout down to watch these guys at the University of South Florida. All the guys in the International Pathway program, and so this was one of the guys he flagged. Take a look. You saw his athletic ability. Let's get him in front of the O-line coach. So we got Aaron Cromer here. Chrome called me back there one day and was like watching the film once it came in and. You see this guy bend, you see him run off the ball, you see him hit the bags. I mean, some raw hand technique, things like that. But to watch a guy run like 4.79 at that size, the athletic ability screams. And is he a raw piece of clay? Yes. But the other positive here is that in the international program, we get an exemption, so we can carry an extra player on the 90, to training camp 91, and if we were to put him on practice squad, it allows us to have a 17th member.
I was about to ask you, the NFL is probably very, very pro getting international players onto teams. Now that they're making an exemption, it seems like roster-wise, feels like a smart decision. This guy's how tall? Ran a 4.79?
6'7", 310 is what he's listed at on the Bills website.
Oh, if he can figure it out.
What the
If he can figure it out, yeah. Again, probably not smart to draft too many players that you've never seen play football. But in the 7th round, this seemed like a shot worth taking. Jordan Mailata has been a great example. If he came even somewhere close to that would be well worth that selection.
All right, last question here before we let you go golf or do whatever the hell you got to do with your scouting department. You traded away or cut all of our friends.
Yeah.
Okay. Von Miller's still up there.
Yeah.
Haven't talked to him in a while. Hopefully, he'll be able to remain healthy next year and we'll watch him go bananas. And Josh Allen, obviously, we're massive fans of and everything like that. But it's a transition. How do you kind of, a lot of great teams, especially if you have a great quarterback with the way the salary cap is, you're going to have to rebuild that team a few different times. Do you feel like you're in that era right now with the Bills? And how complete is that mission? And this year, same expectations as before, even though a lot of the familiar names are no longer there.
Yeah. First off, tired of you busting my balls about how many times.
It's all our friends.
We're tired of it too.
Yeah, you think you're tired of it.
It's going on for 2 months now. Enough. But
all right, you're right.
I get it. No, it is. Listen, there is transition. There's times, throughout a team's journey along the way, and Josh is 6+ years in. It's you have to evolve, and sometimes it's cap related. Sometimes it's just an aging roster. For us, we did need to do some things to get our cap, back in order, and also, we did have some aging players, and so trying to get a youth movement, add some young guys that have some leadership qualities into some of those roles. But it is going to be a challenge. It's not easy. It doesn't mean week one we're going to step out there and everything's going to blend. But change can be good, and we are excited about where we're at. Are we done? No, we're still kind of churning the roster. We're not at 90. We'll see, what guys come available, the next few weeks. Maybe after June 1st, some guys come available. So The roster's not set, but hopefully we find some more guys that you'll like to bring on your show this year.
Well, hey, listen, anybody that'll come on from the Buffalo Bills organization, we'd be pumped.
Keon Coleman.
Huh?
Keon Coleman.
Yeah, we would like the Macy's jacket wearer, Keon Coleman, snack lover, definitely to be a friend of the program. But nonetheless, we appreciate you so much for taking time. Congrats on a great draft by everybody's standards. And we can't wait to see what you do on the golf course this upcoming summer. Cheers, brother.
Cheers, guys. We'll catch up again soon.
Are you going under par ever? Or?
I don't know. If I do, I'll let you know. I'd like to. I've done it once, but it's not normal.
Here we go. $50,000 donation. Okay. This particular golf season, if you're able to go under par.
Okay.
Has to be at one of those nice courses that you play at.
Can't be playing a local muni.
Yeah, we're not playing something like you hustled us before.
Hey. Why don't you come to Oak Hill and we'll play this summer? Yep. Do your show from Oak Hill.
That sounds fun.
If Oak Hill will let us do a show from there, we will certainly put that into consideration.
If you tell me you're in, I'll call Oak Hill. I would bet you they'll do it.
We're in. Sweet.
We're in?
Yeah.
Are we in?
Yep. Sounds
Are
like
we
we're
in?
Yep.
All right, bring your checkbook.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brandon Beane. He's a stick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So good at golf.
Yeah.
And then we got to hang out with him at the Combine. They released a video of us chit-chatting. Just like so cool talking ball and like describing things. There was different moments where somebody he liked did something bad on the field. And he's like, yes. He was like happy about that. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with this guy? Why are we happy about it? It's like, because sometimes some teams, all they need to see is one of those and they're like out on him. If it's like a 4th, 5th, 6th rounder, you see a couple of things. Let's see this guy off the tape. Let's see him on the field. They drop it. Some teams take him off the board completely. It's like for us, okay, he dropped the ball at Combine. Never played with that quarterback ever. Who cares? We still love him. It was fascinating to get to hear him kind of chit-chat about it all.
It's funny you say that because Keon Coleman was one of those guys that people said that he did not have a good combine because he ran like a 4.6 something and he dropped, and that's the situation right there.
The first probably 5-6 weeks of the college season, I would have bet any amount of money Coleman would have been a top 10 pick. Like right up there, neighbors, Marvin Harrison. Like he's
100%.
that type of weapon. Didn't have the greatest combine, but he's a dog as a football player. So
Ladies and gentlemen, let's continue to feel the beat on this GM Tuesday. It's time to take a trip to another city. Let's feel the beat. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now, the general manager of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Omar Khan.
What's up, guys?
You
guys hear me all right?
Yeah, you sound amazing. You look great. Thank you for joining us in such little time of knowing that
Thanks for having us.
Hell yeah, Omar. Hell yeah, Omar. Okay, let's talk about the draft. We'll dive into everything else that you have done over the last couple months that have made Pittsburgh Steelers fans go from 6 to midnight, from drinking actual river water to drinking IC Light Mongos every single night, looking forward to next football season. In the draft, you go big in your first 5 picks. You needed to redo the offensive line. Did you know that the city of Pittsburgh was going to be jacked up about going offensive line heavy this draft? And is this the plan and was the plan and you executed it perfectly? How'd you see draft kind of go for you and the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Yeah, Pat, I think from day one since I got this job, I made it clear that those big guys up front on both sides of the ball were important to us. And the way the draft worked out, it was just it worked out perfectly for us. We offensive lineman in round 1, I got a tackle in round 1, a center, and then a guard that we're really excited about in round 4. So that's I wouldn't say necessarily the plan. It went exactly to the T, but it was we had an idea of what we wanted to do.
Tone Diggs, Steelers fan, jacked about everything you're doing.
Yeah, Omar.
Tone, do you approve, Tone?
Yeah. Hats off. Hats off, my friend. So during the video when Coach Tomlin is calling Troy Fautanu, there's a guy in the background who says 7 out of 20. Now, the internet is just assuming that you had Troy ranked 7th out of 20. Obviously, you guys were sitting out at 20. Is that true? And if that is the case, with him and then Frazier at 51, I assume you had him higher. And then Peyton Wilson at 98, I assume you had him ranked higher. If you did, how hard is it to sit there at your pick and not move up a couple picks? Because when 17, 18, 19 was on the clock, and I saw Troy Fautanu sitting there. I said, are we going to move up and get him now to make sure we get him? What was the situation there?
Yeah, the 7 out of 20. I'm not sure. He may have been referring to seven guys drafted out of the pack at the time. I'm not sure if that's
out
what
of
he was
your
saying,
guys'
but
top 20?
no, I think he was talking about 7. Am I wrong? Out of the pack conference, it was 7 out of the first 20. That could be it. I'm not sure, but that might be what he was what he was meaning. But the rest of the question, we were in the process of. We were working the phones, hoping the opportunity was there to grab Troy. And fortunately, he was still there at 20. We weren't able to get a deal done. But we got him at 20, and can't tell you how excited we are to have him. And he's a Steeler. We talked about having the right type of people. Look, Pat, you're from there. Tone, you guys are from here, and we can go and we can talk for hours about what it means to be a Steeler. But the reality is, when you're from around here, or you've been here a long time, you just kind of know, right? You guys know when you meet a guy and you're like, you know what, this guy's a Steeler. You know what, that guy's a Steeler. So we're excited to have him. And Frazier, really our draft class is really, really, I'm proud to say it. Every one of those guys, in my opinion, are Steelers. I think the community's going to like them. Tone, you're going to love them. It's going to be great, man. The Steeler fans will love them.
Yeah,
we're so
I think
excited.
that is why everybody's so excited, because it's like tough. Like, hey, we're bringing Pittsburgh Steelers like tough, hard-nosed, work hard, not with the bullshit. Like, that's how Pittsburgh people see the Steelers. It's like Zach Frazier at West Virginia. He had a broken leg, walked off the field at the end of that entire thing. And then McCormick, I believe, out of South Dakota, there was a highlight video put together of him just pancaking people to a hair metal band. Like, this guy feels like he's out of literally 1985. It's like everybody seemed to be pumped about what the Pittsburgh Steelers did as Yinzers.
Well, Fautanu is a Steelers fan, and I believe Mason McCormick is a Steelers fan too. And then Peyton Wilson, his brother, was a Pirate who lived in the Strip District. And then Frazier's just from down the road at West Virginia. It's like, all these guys also have ties to the team as well.
That baby, Omar, look at you. Getting back in there with a little Pittsburgh. Now, the quarterback, the one who is, I believe, on the pole, is how Tomlin described it, is not necessarily what everybody would think of a Pittsburgh Steeler. But boy, Pittsburgh's around that quarterback room right now. D-Butt's got a question for you,
I'm
Omar.
glad you Steelers fans are happy, but we know none of that shit matters unless you figure out the quarterback position. And obviously you guys made some big moves this offseason at position with Russ and Justin Fields. So just how are the vibes around the team and the organization around those two new quarterbacks in the building?
It's been awesome. Actually, 3. Kyle Allen also. These guys are out there. I was watching them a little while ago. Working out. These guys are the team's coming together. They're gelling. Russ is an awesome person to have around here. Same with Justin and Kyle. I'm really excited about that quarterback room and what the future holds for us this year.
Connor's got a question for you, Con.
Yeah, Omar, yesterday the internet was abuzz because the Steelers were going to trade for basically every wide receiver the 49ers had. Did you see any of that? And when you do see it, do you know that you got a leak, or do you know that there's just people cooking up bullshit?
You know what? I heard about it. I didn't exactly see it, but there's nothing going on right now, so I'm not exactly sure what the verbiage was, what was reported, but nothing to report.
Hey, if there is, though, will you please tell us?
Yeah,
come on,
text us.
Yeah, I'll text Tone. He's a Steeler fan there, so he would be my person to text.
Hey, look how jacked up he is. Yeah. Look how jacked up he is. God, he's a real journalist. Go ahead, AJ.
Hey, Omar, we already mentioned Peyton Wilson, obviously the linebacker at NC State. That's all over the place when you turn on the film and watch him. What made you guys comfortable picking him? Obviously, his play is off the charts, and I guess he's playing without an ACL in one of his knees, and some people are worried about that, even though he's done what he has done already. What made you comfortable, and what does he bring to the team? Because he is very fun to watch. The dude can fly and makes tackles everywhere.
He loves football. I mean, we had him graded really high. And he was still sitting there with our second, third round pick, and we wouldn't have done it unless our doctors had given us the go ahead. We have our medical team is second to none. We have our head trainer Gabe Aponsa, and our doctors Jim Bradley and Dr. Conco and Aaron Mayers. They are second to none. If we trust them completely, and if they wouldn't have given us the clearance, we wouldn't have taken them. So.
I think Luke Kuechly said he's a bigger, faster version of me.
Mm-hmm.
I think is that what your read on him whenever you were scoring him and scouting him was?
Yeah, I mean, Luke was a great player. He did it for a long time, and Peyton's got great future, and we hope he reaches that. And obviously, Luke was a great player, so that's a great place to be if we're comparing the two of those guys.
Yeah, I think so. If you're the guy who just drafted him, so you got Peyton, Patrick Queen, T.J. Watt, Cam Hayward. Then you got Minka in the back still.
JPJ, Joey Porter Jr.
Joey Porter Jr., who
great rookie year,
phenomenal rookie year. And then on the offensive side, you got Russell Wilson, Justin Fields. You got
George Pickens.
Okay.
Najee, Warren.
Muth, who we saw in Detroit, looks great.
Hey, let's go, huh? We got a team. You got to feel very good where we're sitting right now in this particular part of the NFL calendar.
Yeah, feel great. This happened last time. Somebody just walked in my office and thought, "No, you got to come over and say hello now." This is unbelievable.
Hey, I'm coming to sign.
Hey, Debo! Good to see you,
up,
Debo.
man?
Are you going to be back on the team?
You too. Yeah, he told me come in and sign a contract. He said he need me for at least 3 games.
Okay.
Come in.
Hey, they're paying.
The door's shut for a reason. The door's shut for a reason.
That's Debo, Omar. That's Debo, Omar. Ooh.
What's that?
Ooh.
Still set the edge.
Ooh. Hey, Debo.
Let y'all finish.
All right. Okay. Hey,
sorry about that, guys.
Omar,
no respect. No respect. The door's shut and they still come in. This guy. Right?
Hey, actually, it's the complete opposite. He has respect for who he is. There ain't nobody stopping him fucking anywhere, Omar. You know what I mean?
No, I'll tell you this. We talk about Steeler greats and being a Steeler. It doesn't get much better than that guy right there. He's awesome. He gave us everything.
What does he do in the building? He just hangs around, make sure we got the good culture. We're doing that.
He came over to visit. We're fortunate, as you guys know, a lot of ex-Steelers still live here. They come by to visit and say hello. And I'd like to tell you that he came to visit me, but I'd be lying. So I don't know what he's doing in the building.
Okay. What's next for you, Omar?
The guys are coming in. Phase 2 started this week, and rookies come in next week, and we're ready to go. If there's an opportunity to keep improving the team, we're going to do it. But really feel excited about this team, and hopefully you guys can make it to Latrobe. We'll have to have you guys there. But I'm ready for Latrobe. I love training camp.
Yeah, training camp, especially in Latrobe, St. Vincent, is folklore in Pittsburgh this year. A lot of new faces, a lot of optimism, and it's because the con artist has been doing his thing. We appreciate you taking time today, brother.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Always enjoy being on.
Ladies and gentlemen, Omar Khan.
Have a good one.
Thank you, you too, buddy. All right, so what do we learn there? No trade stuff going on.
No, and we heard that from sources outside of the building earlier today that all that was going on last night with the Pittsburgh Steelers was potentially bullshit. And we also learned what we thought as Steelers fans was that, hey, they were going to draft Steelers guys in definitely the last 2 drafts, to be honest with you, since Omar's taken. He's kind of have that initiative, and we're feeling really good about it.
Yeah, and Colbert obviously had a Hall of Fame career.
Yes, he did.
As general manager for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was a staple of the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's like Rooney, Colbert's going to be there. And then obviously Tomlin, and before that, Carr. So he is much different. Khan is a much different operator than Colbert.
Yeah,
right?
a little more aggressive. Like when like Ty and I always talk about like, oh, the Packers and Steelers they're not going to be in on this guy or whatever. It feels like things are changing a little bit. He's a little more aggressive. Yeah.
Yeah, and he wants to find Steelers.
Oh yeah.
Pittsburgh was going apeshit for offensive linemen getting drafted.
Is that the only team? Is that the only team fan base you think that would be excited for all these? There's like a first round O lineman.
Baltimore, maybe, right? Like
Baltimore.
But that was for Pittsburgh. It was like, I mean, we just listed out the offense and defense. It was the only position where it was like, hey, we need to do something here.
And full investment.
Got to have a good, smart football fan base to be happy about.
Well,
building up in the
I don't know
trenches
about
in the
smart,
draft.
all of them, but like they know football one way. Yeah. And it's the Steeler way of football.
And they've watched, I mean, the last handful of years weren't great at that position, and they watched that, and they were tired of it.
Going all the way back to Ben. Ben was throwing the ball at 0.5 seconds because he was scared to get hit.
Since 2017, really, like when and then after like Pouncey retired and DeCastro left and Villanueva left, like we lost a lot of the core guys, and it's been a while since it's been a tough time to replace those guys.
Well, Zach Frazier's going to be below.
Oh yeah.
We know that. Falatanu, he said, you talk to him, he's a Steeler. It's like, okay, I assume you talk to this guy, he's a fucking just prick offensive lineman. He's probably what I'm assuming here.
Mason McCormick was a prick offensive lineman.
Remember watching Falatanu last year?
Oh yeah.
So big, so athletic.
Belly out.
Rolled his shirt up.
Walking without a helmet.
Yeah, he was running people over.
Weapon.
What an absolute weapon. Shout out to Ballard, shout out to Beane, shout out to Omar Khan making that happen. I saw GM Tuesday. Now, that doesn't end the GM run that we are on. Andrew Berry of the Cleveland Browns will be joining us at some point this week. Howie Roseman, general manager of the Philadelphia Eagles, will be joining us at some point this week. Ryan Poles of the Chicago Bears will be joining us at some point this week. And Caserio will be joining us at some point this week. Once again, Terry Fontenot of the Atlanta Falcons will not be joining us this week.
TBD. TBD.
It was Deed.
Oh, it was. Okay. Well, maybe someday.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean,
has he spoken anyway?
He'll come on.
I think he did the local media, remember? Because
the presser.
Yeah, they were asking some questions as well. Who told Kirk? And what was the reaction? He started answering, and Raheem Morris was like,
The reaction will be private. We'll keep that private.
because that's what reactions are. Okay, and obviously he took it exactly.
Good answer. That was a good
It was. Raheem's the best. They need him to do all the interviewing.
He should be the GM.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should be the GM. Let's just call it what it is. I mean, he's not coming on, so whatever.
It's the business, baby. This is how Kirk's career started.
Yeah,
Took
true.
RG3 2 overall. You take Kirk, what, the 4th round?
Did they
third
pay
round?
RG3 180 off?
No,
Okay.
they trade
They
half
traded
of them.
their 3 first-round picks.
Yeah. So,
Trade
hey,
everything.
It's business, baby.
Yeah, so if Kirk...
Had RG3 had
Hey, we're not
any
comparing
success,
apples
you
to
just
apples.
did.
That's what you did.
You just did.
I understand.
That's what you did.
That's the business. Nobody feels fucking sorry for Kirk Cousins. He makes $400 million. He'll be all right.
That's not the business.
Kirk's got that little brain thing on right now. He doesn't even know.
He knows.
Well,
that brain thing hasn't been working because
Tuesday,
he keeps
though.
thinking like, "What the fuck did they do that?" And then they have to restart the video.
Kirk doesn't think like that.
It's Tuesday, though, so he doesn't have the break.
What did Kirk say? Kirk said he was super excited, didn't he? Just like every other Michigan State
he's
Spartan
super
would.
pumped up, and you got to keep in mind, Kirk's been an underdog his entire life. He wasn't supposed to be good at Michigan State, and he was. He wasn't supposed to be good in the NFL, and he was. This is just another chip on the shoulder. I wouldn't be surprised if Kirk wins the Super Bowl next year.
Whoa! With the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, not the Lions.
A
That
team-
shows me where the Detroit is with their team.
We just had 775,000 people show up for a draft in a city.
Thank you.
And they're calling for the Falcons to win the Super Bowl.
Just saying, I wouldn't be surprised.
Anyways, he also broke some news. Omar. We did the math. It does check out.
I looked it up. Fatanu was the 7th Pac-12 player to go out of 20 picks in the draft in their last season. So good for the Pac-12.
Yeah, we will assume that the person over Tomlin's shoulder in the suit that said the 7 out of 20 thing is a Pac-12 alum.
It has to be.
Who's probably like, how is the Pac-12? This is the best fucking 7 out of 20. 7 out of 20. Has that ever happened for the Pac-12? And now it's the last year it's dead forever because everybody thought it was the 7th best. Here, this dude right here. Run it. Do we have the video?
Hey.
So you're up 7 out of 20.
Hey, man, you and me both, man.
Motherfucker.
7 out of 20, motherfucker.
It was. All right. We hope, or we thank Omar for clarifying that. All right, let's get to a break. In the third hour, we'll have Reese Davis talking about the draft from his standpoint and everything. I can't wait to hear what Reese Davis is chatting about.
The college sports thing, kind of massive news about the
Big Ten and the SEC potentially negotiating with the players to get a cut of money. Now, Greg Sankey is the guy that we've been saying for a long time, down the SEC commissioner. If they're going to make a thing, a whole league, this guy should probably be the one running it. Sounds like he knows that there are some issues. Instead of waiting for everybody else to fucking figure it out, just like he did at COVID.
Yeah.
We're going to try to figure this out, and everybody else can kind of follow suit if that's what they want to do. Shout out to the Big Ten being involved this time, as opposed to what the Big Ten did last time, who's now the president of the Chicago Bears, say, we're not playing football. That's what we're not playing football, actually. Us in Ivy League are not playing football. And Sankey was like, it's different down here. We're fucking playing football. Now he's trying to figure it all out. That's good news. We'll see what Reese Davis's thoughts are on that, because the future needs to be safe. College football needs to remain college football. Like what we got to experience this past weekend in West Virginia, that needs to stay.
Yes.
Like the passion for the school and the pageantry and the history and everything that takes place, not only in West Virginia, obviously we were literally just there, but like with what we've experienced during college game day all year at these big games and being on the field for these games, it's like, got to keep college football. Got to keep it great. And I think there's people, seems like, in positions of power taking steps to preserve it. We appreciate that because we're not the ones to figure it out.
No.
We will certainly point out the problems, though, won't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
We're part of the problem.
Somebody's got to point out the problems, too.
Easy to do. Yep.
Easy. Hey, stop doing that.
That's terrible.
You got any answers? You guys stop doing it.
Yeah.
That's the answer.
Tell you what, the college football we all know and love, dead, buddy.
Yep.
Whoa!
So
Not on the field. Not on the field.
Dead.
Not on the field.
Yeah, all right.
Let's get to a break. We'll have Reese Davis on the other side. He'll tell us whether or not old negative Yukon Husky Darius Butler is right or wrong. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Speaking of that, changing your life. Become a Dude Wipes person, okay? Become a Dude Wipes person. Now, only use one. That's all you need.
Just one.
Get in there, wipe that ass clean, feel like you had a bidet at your house in a bag, and then go about without the chafe or the monkey butt for the rest of your day. Shout out to Dude Wipe. Shout out to you all. Be a friend. Tell a friend something nice that might change their life. Take 5. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the commissioner of the NFL. Don't listen to them. No. Roger, good. Shut your mouth. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah. You're our commissioner. Don't worry about these bums. From us to you, we'd like to give you a gift that we know you're a big fan of. Ladies and gentlemen, some peanut M&Ms for our commissioner.
This is why we're on set?
Yep. You can take these with you. You can take them home.
I might just I got a gift for you.
What?
Oh. You ready?
Yeah, I like that.
With the 222nd pick in the 2009 NFL Draft.
Oh, yeah.
The Indianapolis Colts select Pat McAfee. Hunter, West Virginia.
Hell yeah!
Come on there, baby.
Good pick!
Thank you, Raj. I'll pick him up. Thank you, Raj. I'm not going to pick you up because you got that
That's
back.
all right.
Yeah.
I got it. There's your card, baby. That's real.
That's awesome.
I've been keeping that for, 15 years?
You had it in your back pocket this whole time. This is cool. Thank you for this. So whenever we say that you have to answer to 31 billionaires, how accurate is that?
32. Well, you're not counting Green Bay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
doesn't count.
Big Pop. There's a Green Bay Packers.
I didn't know he did.
Yeah, no, that was.
I don't actually think that way. I actually think I answer to them. I think I answer to the media partners. I think I answer to the players. I think I answer to the owners too. The idea for me is to try to keep everyone happy. I always say that my biggest job is not to piss off more than 24 owners in a given day.
How did you know the draft would be awesome if you traveled it, and did you see this happening?
I'd be kidding you if I thought it was going to be as big as it is. We felt like we could be bigger than we were in Radio City. But what happened is Radio City actually put a holiday show in and said, you can't have the draft until June. And that's when we said, we're out of here.
So they kicked you out?
That's when we went on the road.
Well, Taylor Swift, we know.
Well, that's a different kind of influence.
How about, hey, listen, a lot of jokes from
They're booing Taylor Swift?
Yeah, you can't boo.
They're idiots.
Yeah, you're going to be a part of an album.
Wow.
Do it. Get a little louder. She is going to cook you. A lot of the internet was saying Roger Goodell was sitting at home through the moon about this.
Well, they thought it was part of the script.
Yes, anyone talk to her. There it is. Is there a thought of adding another one, maybe adding another bye week, or are we good at 17 right now?
Well, I think we're good at 17 now, but listen, we're looking at how we continue. I'm not a fan of the preseason. I don't think we need preseason.
Waste of time, right, and energy.
I don't buy it, and I don't think these guys like it either.
Well, they have to spend full price for the tickets for those games.
No, they're actually discounted now. So
Thank you for doing that.
I'd rather replace a preseason game with a regular season any day. That's just picking quality, right? If we got to 18-2, that's not an unreasonable thing. The other thing it does, which I thought you were going to, is that ends up on President's Day weekend, which is a 3-day weekend, which makes a Sunday night, and then you have Monday off. So that's
wow.
Now we're cooking.
See,
now we're cooking.
Can you talk to the president about having the Monday after Super Bowl off too?
Meanwhile, here on Monday Night Raw tonight, United States champion Logan Paul was here. He didn't have his brass knuckles, however.
Yeah, and then Patrick Mahomes, this man is a GOAT in the making. Hands over his 3 Super Bowl rings that he already has by the age of 28. You're talking about an absolute weapon. Who knew what he was doing? Look at these two looking at each other. Look at his face. Where you are from me? Where you? I'm sorry. Sorry about it. He knew what was about to happen. Logan Paul had bad intentions, but they had a prime handshake. And then you look at these bad boys shined up bright. Those things were earned over a full season, a playoff run. That was majestic. Some balls to Travis Kelce. A story that would change the NFL forever. And on this night, Logan Paul, what
wanted to use him to knock the yeet out of Jey Uso. Boom. Instead, he hits the massive dome of J.D. McDonough with him. Patrick Mahomes ended up helping society tonight, and in doing so, Logan Paul probably messed up a friendship with the Judgment Day forever.
That was
Shout out to Jey Uso, laughing his ass off.
That was the Piero Panistrators.
It was a something big.
Hey, we're up to something big, AJ. We are up to something. This is the coolest moment of the history of my existence. I think people are going to be startled. It's a joke, and I can't thank everybody enough, honestly. I'm up to something. Today's a big time day. Let's go. Not only are we going back to Plum to do something cool, but today is the day that our heater horse has arrived for the Super Bowl. You know, whenever you get a chance to give back to where you're from, especially a place that helped create me and mold me, I'm very, very lucky to do it. I'm lucky to be from here, and it seems like the only smart thing to do would be give back.
What's doing, Mark? Stinks here, huh?
What's up, Kennywood, dude? Kennywood is named after Kenny's Woods. A man named Kenny owned the hill in the woody area. They turned it into an amusement park, which is a Yinzer staple. So Jeezy actually shouts out this area we're currently.
I think life can be much simpler whenever you just take care of your people, enjoy your life, and do your thing, and that's all we're trying to do.
You know, growing old, slowly dying. How about you? How's everybody? I'm gonna give a full lead up to how I got to wearing mats.
I think I'm very lucky to be from here. If you're a kid that has walked through these halls, you understand something that not a lot of people do. I think Plum is a much different place than everywhere else.
Man, there's Nick up there. Go look at Nick, how pissed off he is.
This past summer, I was driving through here because I was here for an event, and Angelo Bolino, little blonde-haired kid, was kicking on the same field that I used to kick on as a child, and he had like 2 balls and a holder, and I was watching him kick, and then he would go shag for himself, and he would come back and kick. And the easy question is, if he had 10 balls, how much better could Angelo Bolino be? If I would have been able to have 10 balls, 15 balls, new cleats, new everything, chances to go to camps with my teammates and everything, what could have happened? So I said to myself, literally after meeting with Angelo, great season by the way, dude, I said if I ever get a chance, I'm going to try to take care of the potential humans and kids that were in my exact position in Plum. I'm going to give $200,000 to the Plum area soccer. I'm going to give $150,000 to the PMFA youth football. I'm going to give $100,000 to the baseball youth. I'm going to give $100,000 to the lacrosse. And then we're going to have $2 million in this fund that will just start. And hopefully it'll only go on from there.
Sweet stuff for sports.
Just anything to make everybody's, you know, the teams and the players' lives easier, better. Trying to streamline the entire process of taking care of the athletes at Plum High School is kind of what it's all about.
Wow, dude, that was cool. All right, Narani, like the indie.
You're going to have a lot of people that have never accomplished anything in their life tell you that what you're thinking about doing isn't possible. Just because they don't think they could accomplish it doesn't mean anything to you. Cheers, everybody. Hey, we're all Mustangs here. Let's go.
Just want to do what's right, but turned around and got dropped.
Great sportsmanship.
Into the cover as sportsmanship, but Mia Hill just picked up her first win ever in NXT.
Here is your winner, Mia Hill. 1. Let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Sport! Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Reese Davis Tuesday, April 30th, 2024. Hour 3 of the program starts now. Sports are the greatest. AJ, not a lot of pizzazz, but you did try to get it on cue, which is fantastic. That's AJ Hawk. The Talks table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Sweet Wolves, is that a pack?
Hey, thank you very much. Yeah, it is a pack. It is 3.
Is that the blood moon?
Yeah, this is one of the blood moons, yes, sir.
You know, they call them blood moon just strictly because it has a red hue.
Yeah, well, that's like one of those things where first time it happens.
Holy shit.
What the hell is that?
True.
Yeah, and then once on blue moon,
Yep.
you know, that's a whole nother thing.
Which happens a lot.
A lot.
We just
Yeah,
found
not
out.
as.
Yeah, it's not as abnormal.
Yeah, it
Every
should be
few
once in a red moon.
No, it should be once in a solar eclipse in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
That's what people should say, because remember, people are all jacked up about that.
Yeah.
Charles Barkley was pissed.
Very pissed.
AJ, why? You remember you brought him up to call a bunch of people fucking losers. You set him up to do that.
I did not know he was going to respond, I guess, that harshly. I knew he was not thrilled about what happened with the eclipse, but yeah, he brought it. He did.
Well, total eclipse of the heart happened right here in Indianapolis. People said it was fantastic. Charles Barkley said, I'm watching ball. What do we even look up at the fuck? Is the moon in the sky and the sun say goodbye? Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Is what Charles Barkley said. One half of the hammer.
Dahn.
Cowboys Tone Diggs is here, and 9-year NFL vet, Darius J. Ballard. Congrats to your Florida Panthers, dude.
Hey, thank you. Chuck is he's throwing some heat right now.
Absolutely.
He's throwing
Yeah,
heat.
Galveston. I've never been, but you know, I'm not thinking about heading there.
Thanks.
I'm not thinking about heading there. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who is the voice of everything college. Host of College Game Day football, host of College Game Day basketball, host of the College Game Day podcast. And whenever he's speaking, it's going to sound professional and classy because that's what this man epitomizes. Ladies and gentlemen, friend of the program, Reese Davis. Reese, solar eclipse, very, very much more of an abnormality than a blue moon, which I think we're all learning as we grow older here, Reese.
I heard you guys talking about that. That's how we should do it because the blue moon happens a lot. The harvest moon happens from time to time also. But once in a solar eclipse kind of doesn't roll off the tongue. That's the only problem with it. Is there a different way to say it?
Well, if you said it more often, people would just start to say it. True. You know, like if you said it, that's like quicksand. I've never seen it. Have you?
Not one.
Apparently, it's not real.
Quicksand's not real?
No, it's definitely real.
Yeah, but there's no like sand that you're gonna walk into and all of a sudden like your whole body just sinks into.
I was ready though. You gotta lock up.
Don't move.
You get a stick that goes across.
Right.
By the way, blue moon is every 33 months.
Oh. That's still a
that's very
decent
specific.
amount of time.
I don't think that's right.
Don't argue.
Quicksand is not quite the fearsome force of nature that you sometimes see on the big screen. In fact, the treacherous grit is rarely more than a few feet deep. It's basically just wet sand that's so saturated, the friction between sand particles is reduced. I had like a good 2-month fear of quicksand whenever I was a kid. I think everybody had that.
Oh, yeah. Indiana Jones documentary.
Go ahead.
Yeah, what John Mulaney has a great part of one of his bits saying that quicksand is not nearly as big of a problem as he thought it was going to be when we were all kids.
Okay, I love to hear that. John Mulaney's got a good brain.
Yeah.
I am excited to hear that we're on the same exact track. Reese, let's talk about being on the same exact wavelength here. SEC, Big Ten have come out now, and I think they're trying to figure out a CBA or get money for players and get a piece of the TV pie. What are you hearing about that, and how quickly do you think this kind of all has to happen for the good of the sport as a whole, Reese?
It's going to happen before they end up having to pay damages in that House case in which they're coming against all of the NCAA for past wages and past money and NIL that was held back. So I think they'll need to reach the agreement before that comes, and that's what the judge has asked them to do. I think that there are a lot of athletic directors. I've talked to some just in the last couple of days who are really concerned about the future and want to get this settled because they want to figure out how to budget things and whether how they're going to have to allocate the money. There's a lot of money. It'll be up to them to figure out how to do it, but how much will they have to allocate? So I think that within the next year or so, or at least before the time that this case would come before the judge for a ruling, I think the settlement would be helpful and kind of give us some parameters. And then, you had the situation with UAB yesterday where their entire team sort of aligned themselves with someone to bargain collectively for them in the event that becomes a reality. So there's a lot going on.
UAB?
I think Dilfer's team. I think all of the guys aligned with an outfit called Athletes First, and with the idea that at some point there might be collective bargaining going on.
A1? Athletes First is an agency. I know that. Pretty powerful agency. It's not that. Yeah. It's a union named?
I think so. I think so, Pat. I was sort of reading up on it and sort of feeling my way through it, so you can't take that as absolute gospel, but I believe it's a little bit of a different entity, I think.
I believe there were some Ivy League schools that said they were going to unionize. Football athletes were going to say that, and they were pitching us, and it was like, no offense to you guys, okay, at the Ivy League. You guys, I appreciate the fact that you're ahead of your time. Right now, what's going on at the Ivy Leagues is certainly a conversation piece for the future on, how we all view everything happening, but I like the idea of them doing it, but ultimately it doesn't matter.
No.
Hey, nobody cares about, we get the Harvard, Yale, and Brown and Colgate. It's a big deal. We get that, but nobody really cares in the actual sports world about what's happening up there unless it is in the middle of a lacrosse season or whatever. It's athletes.org is who it is. They're going to have a seat at the table deal for total. I wanted to make sure I helped pour gasoline on something that is going to happen no matter what. I might as well use my influence to help it happen faster on behalf of our players. Okay, so if it sounds like Trent Dilfer is on board with this type of change. If UAB gets on, maybe this helps propel this entire thing to happen even more so.
Well, I think the thing is that it's beneficial to him. To do this because UAB and schools like them, not to single them out, but schools like them need something to try to differentiate themselves in terms of recruiting. So I think if you can go out and say, that we are in favor of the players and we've taken this step ahead of everyone else, that it could help you out in that regard. But I think ultimately that there will be some type of an arrangement, settlement, agreement to try to put this house case, which is the biggest one, that's sitting in front of the schools that will make it the same for everybody. So it's not as if UAB. I don't envision a scenario where UAB is ahead of the curve and therefore to get some type of advantage. But right now they're probably just trying to see if it can set them apart a little bit for the moment.
What do they say? Deadlines bring what?
Spur
action or whatever. So now we got a deadline when this House judge is to do what it's able to do. Hopefully they're able to figure it out. Once again, we don't have the answers, but they need to figure them out. Okay? A lot of problems.
Right.
We can tell them every day. We will. We'll certainly announce all of the problems. We don't have the answers. Hopefully it gets figured out. Go ahead, AJ.
Reese, let's say 5 years from now, is college football going to still be college football? Some people are pessimistic and claim that the old college football is dead, which I feel like we've been being on campus with you guys at game day. College football is very much alive, I believe. Are we going to be able to have this in the future, and how do we continue to have the pageantry and all the beautiful things that go along with college football?
Yeah, D-Butt was the one that said that.
It's dead.
Over there.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't believe that college football is going to disappear. I mean,
no, not in that sense. No,
I don't think it's going to lose its soul, D-Bud. It's kind of what I'm saying. I mean, everybody knows it's still going to play, but I think that there will still be the nostalgia, mostly because those 100,000 people that come into those stadiums that we see every week, they treat this like going to the movies. Remember when people said, "Oh, if the players get NIL money, if they get paid, I'm never going to another game. I'm never watching." Well, so what? Guess what happened? They're still filling this. They're still filling the stadium, and they're still watching in record numbers on TV. So they treat this like watching a movie. They suspend disbelief a little bit. And if a guy comes from one school to your school, well, he's your guy then. And so they're okay with it. They're not worried about all of this other stuff. They want to see the great product, which is still on the field, and they want to see the pageantry and the nostalgia and everything that goes with it.
I think we do too. That's why whenever D-Butt, says it's dead, it's dead.
It's changing. A lot of shit has died and changed and gotten better. But like the traditions, some of the conferences, obviously we talk about Pac-12. So in that sense, I think it's dead. But hey, when something dies,
rivalry games.
I watches F1.
Right? Yeah, you're right.
Exactly.
You're right, Gumpy.
That's the pinnacle, Gump.
Of what?
Trash, brother.
Snoozing. You're talking about snoozing, watching F1 race. But you want to come alive and feel alive?
Agreed.
Watch some college ball on a Saturday anywhere. But I think as long as we keep rivalry games in there, and there's going to be some that are lost, but hopefully they'll be able to get back, and we keep all the pageantry at the schools. Now, there's some schools that stink. Of course. Now don't fill up a stadium now. We're not talking about them, obviously. But I think these, my father's fodder sat in these seats. My father's fathers. I think that'll remain. Hopefully, that is what has to stay, right? That is what we all agree with.
That's the most important thing to protect and to keep, because it's the thing that differentiates it from professional sports. You can be connected to a city in which you live or a team that you root for, but when you have either ties because you live in the state that is represented by that university, or perhaps your parents or grandparents went to school there, or you went to school there, you feel like that's part of you, that it's a little bit more of you than you're just a fan of a team. And there's nothing wrong with being a great fan of a team. And I know there are diehards who, go into 3-week funks because their team loses in the playoffs. And that's great. That's why we love sports. But I do think that there is a little bit more of a personal connection, that school or that school that represents the state in which you live is part of you. And that's the thing that separates it. The one thing I will say in support of D-Butts is I do worry that there will come a time when the revenue-generating schools, the Ohio States, the Alabamas, the Notre Dames, the Georgias of the world, are going to look at some of the other ones and go, now wait, we're sharing our money with you because why? The schools that you referred to, Pat, that don't fill the stadiums, that don't have that type of tradition, that aren't as successful. That I do share some concern about in terms of where that might come down the road, say, 10, 15 years from now.
Yeah, and obviously we watched what happened with Washington State, right? And Oregon. Right. Yeah. Oregon State.
Yep.
And
Oregon State.
Yeah, the two schools. And we got dropped in the middle of it because, Coach Corso, who is a one-line beauty, always has been, always will be, says something, nobody wants us, Bolt, because they are the only two that were not signed to any other conferences somehow. And that's Coach Corso's fault, not the president of the school or the athletic director or anybody else that wasn't able to get a deal done when everybody else in the fucking country was able to. But that's neither here nor there, okay? We get thrown. And I learned quickly about the fear that these fans have. And, my brain was just too naive to think, wait, we're really talking about not only losing interest in a program, but maybe even losing a program if this continues to go this way. I didn't even think about that as an actual possibility in 2024 with how popular football is and how business has gone for football. But that's a real fear for some of these people. And I learned that, and I kind of changed. I had to walk very far back because I felt like such an asshole. But it is that's a real fear for some of these schools, Reese, is that they're going to lose their program entirely. We can't have that happen either. It's there's so many things that we can't have happen while there's so much change taking place right in front of us.
Right, and that is a legitimate fear because you look at the coaching carousel and some of the players. Now, coaches move, and so I'm not going to sit here and say for sure that Jonathan Smith doesn't leave his alma mater of Oregon State for Michigan State, absent all of these things happening. They had a running back at Oregon State, an outstanding running back, Damian Martinez, who was set, according to reports, to make $400,000 running football for Oregon State. That's pretty good money there. I don't know what he's making. He's going to Miami. Now, if they are still in a major conference, does that happen? Maybe. I mean, we still see guys move, but it really makes it much easier now for the players, the coaches to say, look, I don't know what my future is going to look like at this level, and so I'm going to go give it a shot someplace else.
That sucks. I do not like that part of it at all because every place has, obviously, diehard fans, and more football is better for us. Let's pivot away from football here. Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Reese, will these changes that are happening to college football, you think, slowly dwindle into the other sports? Is college basketball, obviously, is probably the next one up if they were to also apply these to that. Do you think that is going to happen, or is football kind of so much different because of the numbers and the ratings that it gets that it probably won't affect these other sports?
No, I think it's going to affect it some. Football's a little bit different. I think the biggest area, and basketball may be also in a similar category to football, but I think where you're ultimately going to see it affect things is I think you'll see sort of a reconfiguration of some of the non-revenue sports in terms of who they play against. And then each school or each conference will have to decide how to divide the money or how to let schools participate in other sports in affiliation with other conferences, because it just doesn't make much sense for USC, for instance, in baseball to come play a Big Ten schedule when they probably have better competition by playing Fullerton and Irvine and Pepperdine all right there in their backyard, not to mention UCLA and Cal and Stanford and the Arizona schools. So, I think that you might see some reconfiguration in the traditional non-revenue sports. But basketball is still going to be a big-time entity, largely because of the money that the NCAA tournament generates through its media contract with CBS and Turner.
Good luck to all of them.
Yep.
Good luck to all of them. We're pulling it. It's going to get figured out. For sure. It's going to get figured out. Let's pivot away from that. Let's talk about the draft a little bit. How was Sabin? How was the crew? I got to be there for an hour. I wish I could have been there more. How do we feel? How was it up there next to him? Were you a little intimidated? Were you nervous? What was the weekend like?
I wasn't. I was trying to do everything I could, Pat, to make sure that he felt comfortable. And I thought he was sensational. He was so prepared, which comes as no surprise to you guys or to anyone else. He had studied tape. He had read stuff on guys. He had talked to general managers. He had talked to coaches. He knew the stuff inside out. And there was a point a few days before, because of the ABC broadcast, which sort of focuses on the personalities and the paths that the players have taken to get to that point. He said, well, I wish somebody had really let me in on this so I could have, found out more of these stories. And I said, no, we want you to be Nick Sabin. And I said, you have plenty of these stories from, playing against them, recruiting them, running across them in camps, just share them. And there was one, I don't know why this moment has stuck out to me, but one little example of how quickly you can tell a story and personalize somebody and personalize yourself. When Drake May gets drafted and we show the party at his high school, the celebration party at Myers Park High School, it was in the basketball gym. And when it popped up on the screen, Nick just sort of interjected, "Hey, I've been in that gym. I was in there watching him play basketball." It took 8 seconds for him to say that, and boom, it gave you another personal angle to the story. But he was great. He ate a little Debbie on television Friday night because everybody gets punchy late in the third round, and it was great. I saw clips. You guys had a good night too.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Bill Belichick was, and I can't wait to watch Sabin. For the hour that I got to be up there, he was. This is not the word might sound bad, but it is not a bad thing. He was interrupting and going, that means he's confident as shit. And the first time you're on a set or something like that, I think the biggest thing, especially being on a microphone, is confidence and feeling where you're at. There was not even, as there shouldn't be, he's Nick Sabin, but there is a chance that could happen. He felt like a natural. And as I was sitting next to him, I'm like, this guy is an actual natural at this entire thing. And it's beautiful for college football too, that he's going to be as prevalent throughout the season with you guys throughout it all. And for Bill was so prepared for just like you were saying. Bill and Nick, I think, pretty similar.
Oh, yeah.
Human beings. Yeah. So prepared for everything. Went through all the film. Night before, we're having some drinks, obviously, at dinner, and we're hanging out. And he orders one drink, I think because he feels obligated, because we all are. It is this margarita that they light on fire. So we change all of our orders, and we're like, we want 12 of those things. So we get them all, and he has one drink. So we all finish this, and now we're like, okay, we're going to order something now. It's good. And waiter comes over and goes, what would you like? Would you like another one of those? He goes, big day tomorrow. No, thank you. And it's like, oh, it's like game day tomorrow. Mm-hmm. He's viewing his, which I respect, because I was sitting right next to him, and I was like, espresso martini. I was ordering just a little bit ago. So it was the way he viewed it. And then after we do it in the hotel lobby, we're having drinks, telling stories like it was after game, that entire thing. It was awesome. And I'm sure Nick Saban felt the same way. Like, he probably enjoyed having to prepare for something, having to execute, and then having a chance to look back on it afterwards, because that's literally what these two fuckers have done their entire being. Did you get that sense as well from Nick as he was viewing it like, yeah, this is my game now. Like, this is what we got to do?
Absolutely. And he wants to be great at it. And he said that. And, you know, in talking to him the night before and spending time with him, he wanted to know how it was going to work, what we needed. He wants to be part of the team. And I think that he got off to a start that shows that he's going to be an unbelievable member of that team. Right after the game day that you did with us, Pat, we go back in the trailer afterwards, and he looks at me and he says, "What do you got for me? What do I need to do better?" And, you know, I mean, he wants to be great at it, which I'm sure Bill does too, which is
so dumb.
Which I think he's going to be.
The amount of times he told me, well, it's your fucking show, after laying out a full plan of something he wants to do. Lays out a full plan of something, and he's like, do you think that would be good? And I'm like, does it sound like you want to do that? It sounds like, it's your fucking show. It's like, doesn't sound like it is. Doesn't sound like it is right now. And that's like, but then he actually wanted shit. Like, he actually wanted me to be like, nah, you should do this. You should try this. Yeah. And once I kind of understood that, I'm like, okay, I should feel confident in letting Bill know, because he wants to be great. Like, he doesn't want to. You know, last thing Bill and Nick want to do is not take a piece of advice that could certainly help them. That's how they've gotten to the place that they are, is like gathering advice and information and tips. It's like, okay, that was a fascinating little angle from my relationship with Bill throughout the last couple of weeks as we were leading up to the draft. This year, you and Sabin are going to be a beautiful thing to kind of watch each week. Let's talk about him with the draft. Go ahead,
I only had opportunities to kind of see clips as well of you guys, and obviously you mentioned it earlier. He's probably recruited 90% of those guys that got drafted. So I'm interested to know, what were some of his favorite players in the draft? I saw him speak on Mike Sainristil when he was drafted out of Michigan, and saying that was pound for pound probably the best football player in the draft. So if you remember any of those guys that kind of popped out when they did get drafted, and Saban's response to him.
He came out of his chair when Max Melton from Rutgers got drafted. He said, this is my sleeper cornerback. He goes, I love this guy, watching him on tape. He is going to be an outstanding pro. Now, I should have this memorized, but I've decompressed a little bit. I think Max went in the second round, and in all honesty, I can't remember who took it. Cardinals. Cardinals. Yep. Okay. So, Nick.
We all Googled that too.
He did.
We all Googled that. Yeah.
I should have the Google machine ready. But he came up immediately when he said that. And you talked about taking feedback, Pat. One thing, we were in our meeting on the day before the draft, and there were a few things that were said, and I don't want to call any players out on this. There were a couple that he had criticisms of, and he had said, I don't really want to say that on TV. And so afterwards, I hope he doesn't mind me sharing this, but I said, there's a way to do it, because we need to hear from the greatest college coach ever, where you can say these are areas that he needs to improve if he is going to reach the potential and do the things that he does well at the highest level. I said, and it doesn't sound like you're crushing the player, because that was his thing. It wasn't that he was afraid to be critical. He was just cognizant of the night that it's draft night. You're looking for reasons the guys are going to succeed, but it is still informative for people to hear. Okay, look, this guy's great, went in the first round, but here's an area that if he's really going to reach his potential in the NFL, he needs to get better at, and there's nothing wrong with that. He was really good about that.
So Bill, he pointed out some things for everybody. He pointed out some things, and I think Bill felt an obligation to reset expectations for rookies that get drafted. Like, I feel like
that's a good point.
I feel like that was one of the things like Bill was like, enough with this shit. Like after, I didn't ask him if that was the case or not, but looking at the film, looking at what he wanted to talk about, it was like Bill wanted to showcase what was good for these guys, but also like, hey, here's the reality of the situation, because you look at the numbers, there's a lot more busts than there are successes, and everybody's like, well, why did this guy work out? It's like, well, this is a very big flaw that if he can't figure out is going to get exposed in the NFL, and it's not going to work out. Like, I feel like Bill wanted to do that, just like you said. Nick saying that, Bill saying that. We can't go up there and be like, Drake May's footwork. He needs to tighten that up. But like Bill Belichick doing it, it's like, it's good for Patriots fans to hear that, just in case there is a little bit of a slow start. It's like, okay, we knew he's going to have to work on some stuff. He's going to be able to develop and get better. But also, I bet you Drake May knows, everything he's saying is exactly what I know about it, too. There's only a couple people in that air, and Nick and Bill, I think, are potentially two of like the four of them that are currently alive that could be in there. It's beautiful. It was a great draft night. Great draft night. Lucky to be a part of it. Now let's talk about somebody that's going to get drafted very soon. Go ahead, Tone Diggs.
Yeah, Reese, the draft just ended and spring games just kind of ended. So with those two tied together, the three favorites for next year's draft are Shador, Carson Beck, and Quinn Ewers to go number one. That last one, Quinn Ewers, we just watched Arch Manning play incredible in the Texas spring game. It sounds stupid to say, but how long is the leash for Quinn Ewers? Do you have a vibe of what's going on in Austin, if there is a call already for Arch to come in because of his recruiting stats? Even though Quinn was Arch before Arch was Arch, even though he's not a Manning or whatever. But what is the sense you're getting around Austin right now after that spring game?
I mean, I haven't talked to Sark, but judging from last year and his trust in Quinn, I think the leash is really, really long for Quinn. And I don't think he'll need a lot of it, because I think he's a really good player who's changed his approach to football and to his career and has been more serious about it. I'm sure he thought he was serious before, but he got it, said it 5,000 times, so I got tired of it last year. But he reshaped his body. He worked harder in film. He became a much better leader. I think cut his hair, the whole thing. I think he is going to have a long leash. I think he's the undisputed number one. I don't anticipate him struggling, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing to have someone as talented as Arch sitting there waiting if in fact something happens and they need him to play. But I think there's a clear pecking order there, and Quinn's number one.
Imagine Arch just sitting for 2 years, the entire Manning operation just being like, it's cool.
Learning.
Whatever. He's continuing to grow, and then he just plays probably a year or two.
Yeah.
Then he's a top 5
One
pick.
good year.
And then all of a sudden we got another Manning who's bigger, stronger, faster than any other Mannings that have been in the NFL already. I mean, it's a phenomenal potential story, and the way they've handled it has just been like, that's how it goes.
Boys got to wait.
Oh, he lost his ID. Yeah, he's got to have a college life. I mean, we had college life. I don't know if you heard about us. It's just like it's the most normal handled situation for somebody that could be transferring starting next year in a bunch of places. Instead, it's just like, nope, all good. Whatever happens, happens. And Quinn Ewers has handled it very well as well. I'm a big fan of Quinn Ewers. Ty is the last question for you here, Reese. We appreciate you.
Yeah, Reese, we all know you're an Alabama alum. What are you hearing about the Kalen DeBoer era so far? When it first started, I feel like people were kind of trying to kill him with all the people who entered the portal. And then there was that video that came out of the Senior Bowl where him and Michael Penix were obviously kind of just jacking around, but he kind of pushed him out of a picture, and then people are saying like, "Oh, look at Penix hates Kalen DeBoer. He can't stand him." So people kind of
that was fake.
Yeah, attacking his character a little bit. What are you hearing coming out of Alabama? Going into the season, kind of post spring game here, and are the expectations the same? Is it still win the SEC, go to the playoff, and compete for a national championship?
Last part of that, yes. Expectations are the same. They're never going to change there. And even though they weren't successful in achieving those, they didn't change when Mike Shula was there. They didn't change when Dennis Franchione was there. And they didn't change for the 42 seconds that Mike Price was there. That is the expectation. So that's not going to change. From what I've heard, it's gone along very well. Obviously, Kalen's a much different dude. As for the Senior Bowl picture, I believe there was another picture immediately afterwards where they're all hugged up or right before or some such thing.
Yes.
And it's all good. In fact, I got a text from Kalen at night of the draft, and he was thrilled for all of his Washington players because he said as good a players as they are, they're all, just all were exemplary guys to have on the team. And so he was very happy for them. And I think, the Alabama players have responded well. He and Jalen Milroe have hit it off. In fact, I was when we were down there for basketball for College Game Day, I sat at the game with Jalen Milroe and Kalen DeBoer, and I mean they seem to be getting along swimmingly. And I think, look, it's going to be a transition. He's following the greatest coach who ever lived in terms of college football. It is not going to be without bumps in the road. But he's a really good coach, and I think he's been really well accepted by the guys who've stayed. And a lot of the guys who stayed have sort of used that as a bit of a rallying cry to say, hey, other guys want to leave, we're staying, and we're going to see this transition through.
A lot of the guys I talked to from Bama, obviously I put them all over. Like I saw Jalen at the hotel the night before the draft, and I told him, like, you deciding to stay and saying, no, the Alabama thing isn't just through it's Alabama and put it on your back. That's a big deal. He obviously is like the coolest dude on earth. They also all brought up the link. Let a naysayer know. They all brought it up, and I guess merch sales are good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Merch sales are killing it. We were up in the crowd. We do a segment, Game Day Basketball, in the crowd. And this young lady is yelling at me, student. She goes, "I've got a present for you," and I said, "Okay." She said, "I made you a friendship bracelet," and I said, "Oh, great, that's wonderful." So I, put my hand out, and she put it on. Said "Lank."
Yeah. Hey, I thought you were potentially jumping off a cliff. Right there. I thought that was career suicide happening right in front of me at the Rose Bowl.
Don't you know me well enough by now?
I know. I do. That's why it was like, what the hell is happening?
What is that doing?
That is what and it was Rose Bowl, so it's like super early that time of year. I mean, I've been through a lot. We all have during that football season, and who knows. If there's potentially milligrams still lingering around from the night before. We're out there in California, you got to do it. So I'm listening to you, and I'm just kind of waiting because those throws you do to those video packages are like Emmy Award winning every single time. So I'm sitting there listening and just kind of dropping out. And then I hear you bring it up, and I'm like, I've heard that before. And then you start talking, and I'm like, what is happening here with Reese Davis? And then obviously you say naysayer, and I'm like, holy shit. And I literally, while you're sitting there talking, I'm right off screen with both hands on my head thinking that, and then obviously Joey Galloway starts losing his mind, and Desmond Howard goes crazy, and then Herb Street's like, this guy's in the middle of his throw. It's like, Herbie, please. I thought he was throwing himself off a cliff just a matter of seconds ago. What a moment, honestly, what a moment for all.
Herbie and I had no idea of the alternative meaning. Like I'd known about the I'd known about the merchandise like since August. Terrion Arnold and Jalen had done that thing, and it had been out there quite a bit. I had no idea. I think I told you this. We went to the sound on it, and Desmond's trying to tell me. I'm still not getting. I don't know. So we come back and we talk and we do whatever we're doing, and finally we get in commercial break, and Desmond's like, "You don't get it?" And I'm like, "No, what?" And he's like, and he basically spelled it out.
Here's the deal.
Yeah. And at that point, I was like, "No, you guys really thought."
No, Reese, you would never say that.
I'd go walk that road.
You would never say it, but I thought you were being like so professional. It's like I'm gonna call it by.
That's what it's called.
They say.
Verbatim. I thought there was and I didn't know if you were. I didn't know how you were gonna handle the end that was coming around, but I was certainly fascinated to find in. The merch sales through the roof. Merch sales through the roof. I saw Terrion down there after he got drafted to the Lions. Big dap up. Hey, Lane. He's awesome. Merch. Yeah, awesome. Absolutely. Lions got a great corner there. It feels like, Michigan only had 13 guys get drafted.
Is it?
Only 13 guys.
Is that it?
Only 13.
Texas was second with 11, I think.
Washington, I think, was third.
How many did they say Alabama has in the league? How many Alabama guys? I forget what number.
400.
Yeah, probably 70.
Yeah, you talk about.
He went over 50 first-round draft picks as a college coach. I think it landed at 49 at Alabama, but he had some at LSU too, as Sabin. I mean, so that's just first-round guys. Not even the rest of them that he's put in the league over the years.
Hey, Coach Billy down there at the IMG Academy, he's trying to catch up to him.
Yeah, he is.
He's got like 5 or 6 straight.
6 straight in like the top 10.
Colleges with most players drafted in NFL history, Notre Dame 525. That was back whenever they were the only school that had television.
70s.
USC 523. Ohio State 485. Oklahoma, Michigan, Alabama, Penn State, LSU, Florida, and Georgia. Those are called the Blue Bloods right there. That is the chippers. That's who's driving things. Those are the teams that we need to make sure they keep the traditions.
Yep.
As we continue to move forward, and everybody else. We appreciate the hell out of you, Reese.
Likewise, boys. Good to see you.
Yep. See you soon, ladies and gentlemen. Reese Davis.
Reese.
All right. What a day today.
Yeah, good show.
Seriously.
The GM thing was awesome.
1 o'clock GMs, yeah.
How about a feel the beat with GMs? Andrew Berry of the Cleveland Browns locked in Friday 12/20.
Okay.
Locked in. So now Howie Roseman of the Philadelphia Eagles, we got to figure out. Ryan Poles and Caserio still currently floating in a circle, in a cloud. In a cloud. We don't know the exact time. As we find out the times, we will certainly let people know. And if you're a fan of the team, we will try our best.
Mm-hmm.
We will try our best to get all the info that we could possibly get that you need to hear. Ain't that right, AJ?
That is correct. Still no Fontenot, no update.
Seeing a separate cloud.
Oh, there's an update.
He was in the list.
What cloud
right
is
here.
he floating on?
He was in the cloud, but then he became a lightning bolt and he dropped himself out of that.
Yep.
You know, and he's
condensation.
He's not big storms last night, right?
Yeah, over the last few days,
Really?
there's some big time tornadoes in the
Where?
Midwest.
Biggest of all time. Nebraska,
Iowa.
I think Indianapolis had some big storms last night. I think.
Yeah, I mean it was like right
Flooding.
when we left yesterday, the rain was ridiculous.
We only know that because flying back from Kansas City, there was a full conversation, obviously, with Elijah, Captain Elijah, about the storms that had taken place, what storms are happening now, how we should be. And normally that late, we're okay, because kind of, these storms only like to come out at, sundown, sun up sometimes, very rarely overnight unless you're getting like big time rain or whatever. But like, you got a full breakdown. I didn't know that shit's happening right now. Everybody look alive. Everybody keep their head on a swivel right now.
Amen.
These storms in the Midwest are a real deal and problematic as a motherfucker.
Oh yeah, I mean some of the tornado videos that I saw from Iowa, it's like and I get people go out there and they like want to get the pictures. Like, you stay the fuck away from those things.
Was that the Nebraska one that was within the last biggest I've ever seen?
Within the last, I think
It looked AI.
3 days ago, I think it was insane. Like it did look AI.
Yeah, I thought that. I think I'm thinking the same. I thought it was fake for sure.
Yeah,
got to be the same one.
Yeah, it's real.
Yeah, that was.
That's a movie. That's out of a movie.
That's Twister. That's the Hangman in the new Twister movie.
Boom. Glenn Powell's up inside of that thing.
Jeez.
How are these people just driving, assuming it's going to go left? Is that what you're assuming?
What if it takes what if it comes right at you?
You're screwed.
Then you're fucked.
Nuts.
Oh, there you go. Lift it up. Oh,
tornado can only go one way, right?
It's kind of cool though how that works.
Like a grizzly bear can only turn to the left. Jordan Hall here knows where the hell it's going, has a good read on it. They have a good understanding, and we appreciate getting this angle. But yeah, that's out of a movie. That looks like an AI tornado. Hey, make a tornado in the middle of a cornfield. It's like, all right, how big do you want it? Venti. That's the fucking biggest. That's big.
Wow. Oh yeah.
Devastating. All right. Let's beat the tornadoes this year.
Stay safe out there.
Yeah.
Let's stay one step ahead of them, even though they decide where they go.
Correct.
They have a mind of their own, it feels like.
Tornadoes kind of,
They
big
just
time
spawn,
assholes.
too.
It's big time.
Yeah.
What's that?
I said they just spawn. It's not like a hurricane where it's on its way. It's just boop, boop.
Yeah, and then it'll leave.
Yeah.
And then how about the eye of the storm? When you're in the middle of that.
Though, you see those funnel clouds go the other way.
But also when you feel the weather, what is the feeling? When it's super hot and then cold's coming, right?
Yeah, like a massive cold front comes through.
But like really warm though.
Yeah, it's like hot, like 80 to 85, and then all of a sudden it gets like very calm and drops like 15 degrees like very quickly, and it's like, okay, something's
And then there's
something's
like
up
an
here.
eerie feeling.
Yeah, it's incredibly calm, like very, very calm.
And then you hear the train coming.
Yeah.
That was the scariest one that I've experienced here in Indianapolis.
Do the animals do anything?
I think they know.
They hide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The outdoor animals or pets?
Because any
Like
like
your
dogs
pets.
usually.
Oh, yeah.
Pets
Yeah,
always
for sure.
dump themselves and stuff. A lot of pets go crazy when there's storms like that.
Yeah, the pets are trying to wrangle the pets is the biggest.
Yeah.
That's scary. 'Cause we gotta get down to the basement as fast as possible. Me and Sam are out on the porch, beautiful night, and then storm started brewing. Started brewing, and then all of a sudden we hear this thing start coming through, and it's like, oh shit, this is a real deal. We sprint inside, all of a sudden house is like shaking. We're trying to get the dogs downstairs, and the anxiety of trying to get the cats and the dogs and the house shaking is a part of it all. And then I think there was some damage that were done, maybe like 10 miles away from here. That was just getting started as it was going. And it's like, holy shit, that thing just comes out of nowhere and decides, yeah, you're the one getting it. It's a bad it's a mean son of a bitch.
Mean cuss.
Assholes.
Yeah.
Let's beat them this year. Let's
Hell
beat
yeah.
these assholes this year. I'm looking over at Sports Center over there. Patrick Mahomes eyeballing Braun Strowman as Jey Uso tells him, hey, yeet. Pulls him away. and says now's not the time. Especially with Creed Humphreys here, Trey Smith, couple heroes in the building. Patrick Mahomes, the next great one. Obviously, he didn't mean for Jey Uso to get hurt. He meant to distract Logan Paul in the Judgment Day so Jey Uso could break free. We all know that's the case.
Not we all.
I didn't make a compelling enough argument.
No, absolutely not.
Why? Because you were there and he saw it differently?
Yeah, I saw the whole thing happen. I saw them walk in together. I saw he was smug, He walked in like a real smug asshole. And
Look at I show Speed checking out what's going on there in the back. He had a Louis Vuitton jacket on. I mean, that's a good-looking fit out of Logan
It's not
Paul.
a fighting jacket.
Well, I don't think he cares because his company made $1.3 billion last year.
Yeah, he's doing okay.
Look, he knew it. Patrick Mahomes sitting there like, come on, Jay, I gave you time. Boom!
He's messed up.
McDonough's dumb. Here's a photo from McDonough's Twitter account as of this morning saying, hey, Logan, how about you give me a nice box of Prime? This is Ace Ventura Pet Detective when he gets punched in the face and it has to count how many diamonds are on the Super Bowl ring because he who he is looking for lost a diamond in the ring, which is a phenomenal situation. J.D. McDonough's living it right now. That's a dynasty right above his right eye.
That's right.
It is.
Looks better.
Deadly weapon. That's a deadly assault with a deadly weapon, isn't it? Or 3 deadly weapons, really.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you're on that hand of Logan Paul, he drops people with that.
Hey, McDonough, you haven't seen the last of McDonough. You know he's going to come back bigger and better.
I would like to say that McDonough is quickly becoming one of my favorites on Monday Night Raw. He's willing to do whatever.
Bit of a junkyard dog.
Expecting him to drop from the Jumbotron like Sting next week.
Yeah, just whatever. Jay. You're going to get punched in the face with like platinum diamond rings? No, I'm not. Jey Uso's going to get punched in the face. You're right. Stand in there. Then later in the evening, he's got this very bruised, bloody, and he takes a kick right to the, and then down, and then he takes another right to. J.D. McDonough is Homer Simpson.
He's a tough cuss.
He really is. He plays the rope-a-dope better than anybody alive right now. He started a babyface with me. I would like that. And having Super Bowl rings across his forehead is fantastic. Yeah. I love everything about it. Hate that he hangs out with the rest of the crew today.
Sure.
Because Dirty Sanchez Dahn was out there yesterday.
Look good.
His dad, Ray, back to Raw. Here we go. Rey Mysterio's on Raw.
Big.
Huge news.
Couple huge draft
Yeah, the
picks
draft
last
was
night.
great.
Andrade?
Draft was everything that you thought it could be and would be.
Yeah, it seemed like a lot of people were just drafting to keep the players that they had. Instead
That's important too.
I'm pumped. Lyra Valkyrie got the call up. It's about time.
Yeah, I mean, she has gothic charisma. Nope, that's not her.
It's good to see Booker T in the war room last night.
I did realize last night I'm going to have to watch some NXT tape.
Yeah, Dijak coming up.
Ooh,
I know Dijak.
Look out.
I know Dijak.
Yeah, formerly known as T-Bar.
How about the hot dragon? The red dragon.
Oh, yeah.
The big
Spicy
dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The big red dragon.
What's his full name? What's his real name?
Ilya Drakowski or something.
Dragunov.
Or something.
It's Ilya Dragunov.
You're an asshole.
No, he's a big pick. He's a huge pick.
He beat the shit out of you.
Well,
I saw him a couple weeks
I'd
ago
hope
on Raw.
so. He's a fucking WWE superstar. I'd hope he'd be able
He was
to.
the number one prospect on the board.
He's a
Where's
brawl.
Elias?
Well, Zeke wasn't up for draft. That whole family wasn't up for the draft.
Where are they? What are they doing now?
They're
Do we know?
working. They're getting better.
They're basically like our tribal chief. They opted out.
Well, the tribal chief opted out because he didn't want to steal a spotlight from anybody else. He's a giving tribal chief.
Sure.
I actually got a chance to talk to Paul Heyman, before the show, and I said, he opted out. Why is that? Just to give everybody else their night? And he said, that's right. That's who our tribal chief is. If the world was to be flooded, our tribal chief would try to give everybody oxygen. That is the type of man that we're talking about here.
A boat?
And I said, okay, sounds good, Paul. And I just walked away. And he go on now, lad. Go on, lad. And the draft, I'm happy for those NXT people because they work their asses off there. Full commitment, full every single day.
Or shoot.
But I learned quickly I didn't know enough about them.
Sure.
So I'm going to have to do some research before next Monday. They got Backlash in Lyon, France this weekend. Bonjour, oui, going international. 4 o'clock. 1 o'clock.
Time
Michael
zones.
Cole is going over?
I forget.
Michael Cole will be hosting Backlash from Lyon. I believe there is SmackDowns in France as well on Friday.
Hell yes.
Corey Graves and Wade Barrett will be hosting that. I think Michael Cole is hosting a kickoff event on Friday, 1 o'clock Eastern.
Okay.
10 o'clock Eastern. Fuck. I was trying to keep up with it. I said, boy, that sounds all really early, you know. But they're in France, you see. It's international. What time's the kickoff show? Do we have that on there? So on Friday, they got a kickoff. They're France fans are about to be wild, too.
Yeah.
And Cole has to talk to him. I said, are you speaking French to these people or are you speaking English?
Yeah.
And he said, I don't know French, Pat, so I'm speaking. I said, I hope you don't get fucking booed out of France, pal. These European fans are wild. Should be a fun weekend. But I got to learn a lot about a lot of these fucking people before.
Is it a premium live event or what?
Only on Peacock, brother.
Got it.
WrestleMania Backlash.
Hell yeah.
Tone Dig's been trying to tell me something for a while. Gothic charisma meets cold-hearted fury. That is the description of one of the...
Not Lyra Valkyrie. It was the next pick.
Blair Davenport.
There it is, Davenport.
And she got drafted to...
Looks like it's blue SmackDown.
Okay.
Where's Shinsuke?
Shinsuke was the SmackDown as well.
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yep.
Did Cody get that cereal made yet?
Nakamura.
What's that?
Did Cody get that cereal made yet? Did he steal Tone's idea?
Nah.
Cody's O's.
Cody O's.
O's!
Still out there.
Why wasn't he there last night?
Well, he's on SmackDown now.
Yeah, he's champ. He's a champion. He's
I
your
thought fighting champion.
He's
He
your
just
champion.
on SmackDown and Raw every week.
Nah, well, we talked about this. I thought it would be difficult to have two champions on one particular show because what's everybody else angling for, you know? Kind of new.
Wasn't the same without him asking us, though. What do we want to talk about tonight?
Yeah,
Kansas City.
Kanssus City. What do you want to talk about?
Until we eat again.
What is your guys' problem? I understand you guys acknowledge your tribal chief.
Always.
Okay.
Where's he been?
Kansas City did last night, didn't they?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, they did.
He's been getting better.
Okay.
He's been working harder.
We'd be better because he lost his last match.
Don't you put your fucking finger up and then start doing that.
I did see photos of him at Disney World. It was pretty sweet.
It's Disney.
Yeah, he was at Disney with his family.
Building lightsabers.
Is that okay with you?
He's got to reload.
I don't really
Fucking
love when
cry,
my
baby.
WWE superstar champions have families. I only want them to wrestle.
Okay.
Cody's wife came out.
How's mommy's
at
rehab?
Dana.
Brandy Rhodes is right
I didn't say
there.
I respected that either.
Okay, fair.
Mommy was not
Fair.
there yesterday.
You didn't see Stone Cold
Rehab,
carrying kids
rehab
around.
going well?
Bloodline.
You're right, too.
Yeah, it is family. It's the whole thing. The whole thing is family.
What did Tate have all his whole family in his casket?
Tate's
Dead man one.
Yeah,
Damn it.
really.
His family's dead. Yeah. Isn't that why he goes back underground?
The only family he had was Kane, his brother, from birth. Twins.
But he's like Dante's Inferno. He goes back to hell after.
Let's get to a break.
Disco Inferno, brother.
Still doing it. All right. That's the show. Yep. I think that's how you end it.
Sometimes you know.
That was a good breakdown of everything that happened.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, good recap.
There was a big Intercontinental title match last night.
Huge.
Sami Zayn versus Big Bronson Reed.
Yeah, first time.
Samantha Irvin, who was battling through something last night, by the way.
She's awesome, by the way. Sorry to cut you off. She's amazing, like what she does.
You should hear her. I think she's like a real singer. For
She
shooting, a
is.
real singer, too.
She was on America's Got Talent, I believe.
Boom. Season 11 with O's the Mentalist.
Bingo.
Saw that, yeah, in
Yep,
the whole
saw that
thing.
as well.
Yeah, so like she was battling through, I think, a congestion.
The sinus thing.
Yeah. She announced Bronson Reed, Big Bronson Reed, at 330 pounds. Michael Cole did a little research. I guess he's like 360, 370.
Oh, no.
No, you don't say.
That's it.
Sit.
I said, is that it? You sure?
What do you think? He's 400 pounds?
Pure muscle.
Well.
Okay.
What the hell was that?
Grit.
I will say, I'm sick of watching Zane Brunson. Can we get someone else in there? It's
That's
the
the first time.
It's the fifth fucking week in a row we're watching Brunson Reed lose to Sami Zayn. Like, fuck, man.
You're building up cable,
Where the
brother.
fuck can we put someone else in there? Fuck!
Oh, Big Bronson Reed had a big night last night.
Every time Brunson Reed comes out against Sami Zayn, all I can think is, fuck that! Every single time.
I agree.
But unfortunately, we got to watch.
It was the first time last
We
night.
got to watch Zayn go over again.
Braun Strowman would break
Like,
Sami
come on.
Zayn in half.
Let's get to a break. Sami Zayn's a fighting champion.
Yeah.
Yeah, against one guy. So is he? Does that count? If you defend your title
Oh, Jack
against the same
Gable, you
guy?
didn't see him kick him in the mouth last night?
I saw it. I wasn't in the ring. I like my business to be done inside, inside the fucking,
Did the bell ring?
Thank you. Okay, inside the parameters.
That's right.
Can we get some fresh blood?
I agree.
That's why I'm
We
pumping.
do. We got a bunch of NXT.
That's why I'm pumping Dragon on.
Fucking put the strap on Dijak right now.
Boom, I'm down for that.
Wait till the breaker gets in there.
Wait till you see what Dijak does with these ropes. The way he gets in, he's so tall. The way he gets in the ring. Braun Strowman's back. We got good entrances coming out of Braun Strowman as well. The way they go up over. Braun Strowman looks gigantic. Absolutely. Have you seen his dude last night?
Absolutely.
I want to see him go in there against Sammy. Let's test if he's a fighting champion. Let's test the Intercontinental Championship.
Let's get to a break. We're back tomorrow. Thank you all so much for allowing us to live this life. General managers will be joining us throughout the rest of the week. We'll be trying to create things that are worth watching, but it is doubtful for probably the next few months. But buckle up. It's about to be a great ride. AJ, good work today. Boys, fantastic job. Not only here, but in Detroit for that draft spectacular in the back. And everybody, good work. Good work, team. Good work, team. All right, let's get the hell out of here. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change their life. We're in this thing together. Team on me. Team on three. 1, 2, 3. Team. Goodbye.